Welcome and good evening, everyone. You are tuned in to live legacy action here from Mox Boarding House in Ballard. We're at the Card Kingdom shop, and we're about to see 4 rounds of legacy action tonight. I'll be your host this evening. My name is Michael Tessier. Thank you for joining us. We do this every single week, live from Seattle, Washington. Uh, we've got some real heavy hitters in the room tonight that I was hoping to spotlight, hopefully, in our first feature match of the evening. We'll have longtime legacy player and one-time SCG grinder Kent Ketter under the spotlight, under the camera for you all to see against David DiMolanta, a longtime legacy player here in the Seattle area. But of course, before we get into that, we're getting everything squared away here in the tournament room. Tonight, it's a lighter crowd than usual, just 21 people registered. And the reason for that, of course, is that so many people went to GP Atlanta. That's okay. That's Grand Prix Atlanta, and that was a pretty good experience. It's a legacy Grand Prix. Unfortunately, there was no video coverage of it, so everything was kind of done community style. A lot of video coverage coming in through the Twitter, on Reddit. We got to hear some of the updates, some really awesome top eight decks, and we'll get into more of those results as we go on throughout the evening. Our competitors are getting set up right now. I'm going to switch down to the match and see where we're at. There we are. Ken Kidder on your right. David on your left. Getting a note from chat. The audio is a little rough. We'll get that taken care of. In the meantime, please enjoy our legacy action. Great to have Kent Ketter in the house. I alluded to some other heavy hitters here. Of course, legacy stalwart Jordan Isaka. Also in the house tonight, Chris Van Meter. Another long-time Magic the Gathering player. Excellent Magic the Gathering player. And we're really pleased to have so many competitors in the room tonight. Kent Kidder with a die roll. There's a 6 for Kent. All right. Checking out Kent and David here. They are shuffling up. Got to push down those fresh sleeves or you can get some slippery messes there. Here we go, folks. Round 1 of Legacy Action. David on your left, Kent on your right. We're not sure what they're playing. We'll find out soon enough. Oh, that's a lava spike on the top for David. So we, of course, know what that's going to be. That's burn. And on your right, Kent Ketter. It looks like he's playing straight Rug Delver featuring Renin 6. Turn one Goblin Guide for David, and Kent's thinking about if he is going to force it. Indeed he is. There's a force. Kent drops to 19. And he is pitching a Brainstorm. It'll be Kent's turn here. That's a Delver of Secrets for Kent. And back to David's turn, a second Mountain in play. There's our life pad all fixed up. Chain Lightning from David. Using it now while Kent doesn't have a random opportunity to chain it back. Delver of Secrets down. Kent is opting not, of course, to daze here. Excuse me, it's a Force of Negation in hand, so no opportunity there. Monastery Swiftspear in. Kent drops to 18. And David sequenced that so that he wouldn't get dazed on that important Chain Lightning for the Delver of Secrets. Tarmogoyf the draw for Kent. Big time draw for him. And that's going to just be a complete stone wall against this Monastery Swiftspear. Lava Spike, Goblin Guide, and Price of Progress in hand for David. Kent's dropping down to 17 on this fetch. And we're either going to see the Wrenn and 6 or the Tarmogoyf. It is the Tarmogoyf. Again, just a stone wall here. Back to David's turn. Kent with the shuffle. David's just going to tap it. Lava Spike the play. Kent down to 14. The follow-up from David. That's a 2-3 Monastery Swiftspear now. Now a 3-4. Excuse me, just a 2-3. Goblin Glide is the play for David. Kent says okay. Now the question is David going to attack, give Kent a land, and lose a creature, or just pass? It is going to be pass. Kent with that Stonewall Tarmogoyf in play. Thinking about if he can swing and get the party started, but I don't think that's an option. Of course, there's a lightning bolt here, so if David goes for a double block, he'll get 2 for 1 on that lightning bolt. Pretty compelling opportunity. The likelihood that David would go for a double block, pretty slim. Wooded Foothills from Kent. And Wrenn and 6 and a pass. Wrenn and 6, of course, the topic of much of our legacy discussion lately. How relevant is this card to unsettling the format? And would the format be better off without it? Let me know in the chat what you think. Try to get this audio a little bit better here for you all. Thanks for tuning in. If you're just tuning in, you're watching live Legacy Action from Card Kingdom in Ballard, Washington. We're in Seattle. David with just a pass back to Kent here. He's going to swing with this Tarmogoyf. Counting the power and toughness of the Tarmogoyf. Kent's going to go ahead and crack this Wooded Foothills. Returned via that Renin 6, of course. And there's a volcanic island. Make sure he swings for the full 4. Renin 6 going to tick up and grab that Wooded Foothills once again. And Ken remembering that he had already played a land for the turn, passing it back. It's up to David now. All right. David swinging. That Lava Spike was the play to buff that Monastery Swiftspear. Goblin Guide revealing another Tarmogoyf. Certainly an unpleasant sight for David. A Lightning Bolt's going to take care of that Goblin Guide after the trigger. Damage, Kent asks. Kent goes down to 8. Startlingly low life total, considering David is holding on to that Price of Progress. Question is, does he go for it now? It'll be the full 8 damage that David needs, but he's gambling that Kent doesn't have a Daze or a Force with another blue card. David does not have that information, likely. There were opportunities for Kent, of course, to play a Daze earlier, so David might be considering that. So the only card would have been a freshly drawn Daze. And of course, David, knowing that he has this turn's worth of draws to be safe with the Tarmogoyf on top, revealed from the Goblin Guide. To the folks in chat, Inattentive Senpai, welcome. Raslanim, welcome back. I wish I could have gone to Atlanta as well. How was your experience in Atlanta? Any folks who were in Atlanta would love to hear what it was like for you all. Kent playing out that second Tarmogoyf after the swing. Going to drop David to 12. Kent down to 7. Kent considering what he'll do with this Renin 6 for the turn. Get back at Wooded Foothills. Now, the big thing about this situation is that Kent has gotten himself out of Price of Progress range thanks to this Wasteland in play. If David goes for the price now, it'll only deal 6 damage because Kent will waste his own dual land. Of course, David does have the requisite burn damage to finish it off. Swiss Spear the draw. And that could be enough to make David feel confident to go for it here. Cheeks Like Woe, Hogak Depths, and lost the last round of a last chance trial to Maverick, and you're winning in for day 22. For day 2, excuse me, to Maverick again. Oh man. Went 5-1 in Legacy PTQ and got 16th. Nice, that's a good finish. There is a hard cast Force of Negation on this Price of Progress. And David maximally punished for waiting that extra turn. Big time Force of Negation from Kent. David considering his options now. It's going to be a Chain Lightning from David. And this Monastery Swift Spear looks like it's going to stay back. David still has a chance here. Needs to draw a burn spell and somehow get one more point of damage in. Kent with a Delver off the top, 2 Goyfs in play, and a Wrenn and 6, and still against the ropes, even after that wild Force of Negation. Hard cast. Tarmogoyf swings in. David's going to drop down to 9. Kent will uptick the Wrenn and 6 once again. Thinking about if he'll deploy this Delver, I think. Opting not to. Instead, that 5 mana up is actually representing a hard cast Force of Will, which makes things much more difficult for David. David, his top deck. Oh, there's a Monastery Swift Spear. We knew about that card. Not sure if he changed the 2. And there's a pass. Okay, it is pass. Kent with a draw. Another land. Oh, excuse me, it's a ponder. Nice draw for Kent. Ponder is the play. Top 3. Daze, Ponder, and Hex Drinker. Hex Drinker making a splash in Legacy. Of course, a very kind of a mini Progenitus it can work its way up to. Blasted Man with the comment, this is tense. This is tense. If you're just tuning in, you are watching live Legacy action from Seattle, Washington. We're at Card Kingdom. This is Mox Boarding House in Ballard. Kent Ketter, you can look up Kent Ketter, folks. Longtime SCG grinder for a couple years there. And he's in the house tonight, getting his game on. And here comes a Wrenn and 6, gonna ult. And there's the emblem. This is an ulted Wrenn and 6 we're witnessing here. We've already witnessed a hardcast Force of Negation. Okay. It's a scoop. David scooping it up. The Wrenn and 6 ultimate being a little too much to handle. And boy, did that game just slip through the fingers. That was a close one, huh? Hard to know when to play around a daze, or in this case, force a negation, or not to. That was really challenging. Looks like out of David's sideboard, a Clefairy in the window. But Sulfuric Vortex, Relic of Progenitus, pulled to the top there. Burn, of course, was in the finals of the GP Atlanta. That's right, the entire GP had Burn in the finals. Maybe that's what has inspired David to play here tonight. One of the hallmarks of that specific Burn deck was 4 main deck exquisite firecrafts. Cannot quite see the cards from Kent's side, but the Rug Delver deck has certainly proven to be a stalwart staple of Legacy right now. We're going to update the round here. Kent has 1 game to David's 0. We're watching round 1 of 4 live from Seattle, Washington. We get 4 rounds of Legacy here tonight. And like I said, not only do we have Kent Ketter in the house, Chris Van Meter is here, along with a whole slew of regulars, including stream favorite Jordan Isaka, level 3 judge Sean Catanese is in the house, when there were level 3 judges. Former Star City Games writer Jeremy Edwards, also present. Lands specialist Lauren Mulligan is here. We've got Matt Sokolowski, who only plays with beta dual lands. He's in the house. And local brewer Leo Zockler is here tonight, and he's playing Pod. I hope to get as many of these decks on stream as possible. That is right. Kent Ketter is in the house, and he is on stream. White Border Jeskai also in the house. That's right, chat. And excuse me, I misspoke there. I thought that the Burn deck was in the finals, but Burn deck was in the top 4 of GP Atlanta. Top 4. Still, so cool. So cool to see these decks bringing it. That's right. You can play Burn to a top 4 finish. Okay, take a look at the opening 7 for both of these decks. I do think, and I'd love to, Burn is hot, not cool. I'd love to know your thoughts, chat. I think that Burn is sort of in games 2 and 3. As far as your mulliganing decisions, you kind of look at it like a combo deck, right? You're thinking about what cards are just the best against it. And if you have either a cogent game plan or a critical mass of the best cards against Burn, then you can probably keep your hand. Makes your mulliganing decisions much easier in games 2 and 3 when you know what to expect. Lightning Bolt from David on turn 1. Here's Kent Ketter with a follow-up Tropical Island and a pass. David with a land number 2. Of course, it's a mountain. He's got 20 of them. And there's a Tarmogoyf. Huge creature in this matchup, but a little exposed at the moment. David has a chance here. He's got a Dead and Gone in hand. And it is going to be dead. Is 2 damage going to be enough? Kent Ketter with Force of Negation in hand. Gonna force him to lose just the Force and another blue card. And there goes the Tarmogoyf. Dead and gone. Great sideboard in from David. Third land. And a pass, I believe. David, a little light on gas. 4 mountains is way more than Burn would like at this stage of the game. Exquisite Firecraft, Lightning Bolt, and Fire Blast in hand. Preordained from Kent. Got a Wasteland and Tropical Island in play. Hydroblast and Force of Will on the top for Kent. Big time Preordained. And I believe he's keeping that Force of Will. Force of Will, Daze, Force of Negation, and Spell Pierce in hand. Along with a Wrenn and 6. Unbelievable hand. There's a Monastery Swiftspear off the top for David, so a little bit of gas that he needed. But this might get Force of Will here, and so it will be. Daze pitched. Kent to 19. Monastery Swiftspear down. That's right, that's 16. There was a Lightning Bolt on turn 1 from David. Kent with that Wasteland, and of course in this setting, it's going to be used to protect himself from 4 extra points of damage out of Price of Progress. Here's a Scalding Tarn from Kent. Down to 15. Volcanic Island. He's got all 3 colors now. And Dreadhorde Arcanist was his draw off the top. Lucky draw on the top. That's the action that he wants. David's going to untap and draw. A mountain. David's 5th mountain in 11 cards. In 11 cards, David has drawn 5 mountains. And that is certainly putting him behind the 8 ball here. Not enough action. Dreadhorde Arcanist gets to untap. 2 Wrenn and 6 in hand for Kent. Taking a look at what he's got. It's probably going to be a Preordain. And oh boy. How do you deal with a Dreadhorde Arcanist? Is it going to be Lightning Bolt? Is David going to risk himself? Okay, he allows it. Preordain is cast. Dreadhorde Arcanist. And I believe David says, with Preordain on the stack, I will bolt the Dreadhorde Arcanist. Ken says, okay. Preordain is good enough. Oh, excuse me. That lightning bolt was directed at Kent. So Kent down to 12. David not wanting to see an extra counterspell in this whole situation. David's got 8 points of burn in hand. Kent getting to resolve that instant speed Preordain, and here comes a Wrenn and 6. And that's going to tick up for a Scalding Tarn in play. Passing back to David here, who untaps with 5. Count them, 5 mountains. There's a 6th. David has drawn 6 mountains out of 12 total cards. Really not what he was looking for, and just holding on to that mountain for the bluff value, whatever that is at this point. Back to Kent, who gets to untap yet again with a Dreadhorde Arcanist. I believe Kent is thinking about the red card in his hand, the Lightning Bolt. I believe it's a Lightning Bolt. He was considering firing it off to be mana efficient, so he could swing with the Dreadhorde Arcanist and get another activation, another cast of it immediately. But instead, Dreadhorde will just swing in for 1. David's down to 18. Folks, if you're just tuning in, you're watching live Legacy action from Seattle, Washington. We're at Card Kingdom. This is Mox Boarding House in Ballard. And we are watching Kent Ketter, former SCG grinder, battle against local Legacy player David DiMolanta. And Kent just has all the right answers at all the right times. Unfortunately, David has drawn count them, 6 mountains out of 12 total cards. Kent gonna plus this Renin 6 and get a Scalding Tarn in play. And passing it back. Here comes David with a draw. Oh, it's an exquisite Firecraft, imagine that. 2 exquisite Firecrafts in hand. That makes 8 points of damage, and the Fire Blast would be GG, assuming Kent doesn't have any counter spells in hand. Of course, he does. And I don't believe Kent has exposed any of those counter spells to David, so David's best chance might be to draw a 3rd exquisite Firecraft. And take a look at that innovation in that top 4 GP Atlanta list, which played the 4 main deck exquisite Firecrafts. It's looking like a pretty good decision right now. Dreadhorde Arcanist in yet again. Just 1 point of damage there. David down to 17. The clock is pretty slow. Kent down to 10. If Kent gets to 8 off of fetch lands or some chip damage from David, maybe a Monastery Swiftspear swings in suddenly and Kent's okay with it, he could be in double Firecraft range. Remember, of course, exquisite Firecraft, uncounterable. Uncounterable. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Michael Tessier, your host, live from Seattle, Washington. There's a lightning bolt from Kent. And David's going to go down to 14. That was 2 Firecrafts just fired right off. And Kent, feeling the pressure, knows he has to put the gas on. Lightning bolt on David drops him to 14. Kent dropping to 1. And there's another volcanic island. Kent, knowing he can best most cards out of David's hand. Most cards off the top with his suite of counter magic. Renin 6 up to 7. Alt territory. Dreadhorde Arcanist at the ready. Kent able to swing for 4 here. Deal 4 points of damage with this swing, rather. David with the Monastery Swiftspear. Force of negation, of course, cannot counter a Monastery Swiftspear. So if somehow David can sequence it so that Kent can't cast both counter spells, I don't think there's a way at this point. Then David could sneak this 1 point of damage through. But I don't think there's a way for him to do it yet. Let's see what he draws. Dreadhorde just in for 1, leaving that lightning bolt in the graveyard. Kent moves to discard and relieves the... Oh my goodness. Could this be it? David has Lava Spike, Fire Blast, and Monastery Swiftspear in hand. And Kent only has 3 cards that interact: Spell Pierce, Force of Negation, and Force of Will. I think David could do this, but I think he can do this. Oh my goodness. Here comes the Monastery Swiftspear. This has to get Force of Will. It's going to be a hard cast Force of Will. There it is. Oh my goodness. And now David needs to bait the Force of Negation, and then he's home free. Here's the Lava Spike. Unbelievable legacy action here, folks. There's a Force of Negation, pitching the Spell Pierce, and Kent only has 4 lands in hand now. David has gone for it. Drained Kent of all of his trump cards. And David's thinking, am I going for this? Am I firing my last shot? Am I 3-barreling it here all the way to the river? Am I going all in? Is this going to be Fire Blast? Fire Blast. David will win if he does it. He goes for it. There's the Fire Blast. Sacrificing 2 mountains. Kent Ketter picks up his hand. He's going to see 4 lands. Shows them. David wins game 2. We're going to game 3, folks. David DiMolanta pulling this game from the jaws of defeat, drawing 6 mountains off the top 12 cards and still winning. Unbelievable legacy magic here, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Kent Ketter just thinking, how did that happen? I'll tell you how it happened, folks. 2 exquisite firecrafts. Spiffy Neostar, Inattentive Senpai, that's right. Look at these emojis. That's right. Unbelievable game 2. David found the window and went for it, went all in on that Fire Blast. He had the opening, drew just enough gas. Unbelievable. 8 points of damage from Exquisite Firecraft. We're going to game 3, folks. If you're just tuning in right now, you're watching live legacy action from Seattle, Washington. We're at Card Kingdom, Mox Boarding House, Ballard. I'm your host, Michael Tessier, and we do this every single Monday. That's right. We stream Legacy every Monday. So if you like Legacy action, if you're just getting into it, why don't you give us a subscribe, a follow. Let us know that you like what's going on here. Kent laughing about the slam, or if you can hear folks in the background, we're winding down here with our first round of Legacy action. We've got 13 minutes left in the round. Our little timer there is a little broken. Get that out of the way. Our players are shuffling up again. We've got David DiMolanta on your left, and he's a longtime Legacy player here in the Seattle area. Kent Ketter on your right, who's a former grinder there. You can find his exploits all over the internet, including, a no-lander for Kent on that opening 7. It's going to be a shuffle, immediate, a mulligan. You can find his exploits all over the internet. Some other videos of him, and this one will be among them now. Take a look at David's opening 7. Bolt, Chain Lightning, Exquisite Firecraft, Dead and Gone, 2 mountains, and a Monastery Swiftspear. Snapper Keeper for David DiMolanta. And David could do this. David could do this. Kent Ketter. Strategy exposed. Tropical Island down. We all know what you're playing now, Ken. Didn't board out your trops. Oh. Kent with the prey emoji. Dreadhorde. Bolt. Ponder. Force of Will. Wasteland's going to go to the bottom. That's a volcanic island, and Wooded Foothills going to stay in hand. Ponder is the play for Kent. We are going down. Fire the Islet among the cards in this Ponder. It's going to be the second one. Not sure what Kent is drawing. It's another Ponder. Back now to David, who just pulled out that game 2. It's going to be a Swift Spear. David drew a mountain for the turn. That's 3 mountains in hand. That was the big story, those first turns for David. Wooded Foothills for Kent, and it's a Tarmogoyf. There's that big brick wall. Big time card in this matchup. Gonna really put the stall on this Swift Spear. Currently just a 2-3. Within bolt range. David, with a Chain Lightning in hand, can take care of this Tarmogoyf and sneak in for 2 with the Swift Spear. And that is what he's going to do, but this might get forced pitching Ponder. I think Kent has to do it. He has to save this Tarmogoyf. Some of his only action right now, and there it goes. Force pitching Ponder, but will David go for it, a swing here, and 2-for-1 himself to beat this Tarmogoyf? I don't think that would be a bad idea. There is Chain Lightning, and that's going to target Kent. Kent down to 15. The best would be Searing Blaze, that's true. Not anymore. Yeah, that's right, folks. Chain Lightning is indeed a sorcery. Lightning Bolt from Kent is going to take care of this Monastery Swift Spear. And now, Tarmogoyf swinging in for 1, 2, 3, 4. David down to 16. Yep, that's right. That's a big 4-5 Tarmogoyf. And that's going to cause some problems. Kent with a Force of Will in hand. Lava Spike off the top. Third mountain in play. And Kent with the in-game chit-chat. I know Jordan Isaka sometimes uses the during your turn chit-chat to sort of distract you from thinking. So sometimes I need to tell Jordan, please. Jordan Isaka. There's a forked bolt. I put banter on the stack, exactly. In for 4 with the Tarmogoyf. Fork bolt. Oh, excuse me, that's a Dreadhorde Arcanist. Dreadhorde Arcanist enters play. Ponder and Lightning Bolt are 2 very enticing choices. And we're going to choose Gone, it looks like. Tarmogoyf returns to hand at end of turn. David just stemming the tide. A 4th mountain, the draw. I think we might have to see a Chain Lightning on this Dreadhorde Arcanist. It's going to be a Lava Spike directed at Ken. HC Fox, this seems like Game Ogre. You know, I would have said that about Game 2 as well, but somehow David pulled it out. Let's see if that can happen here. Kent down to 12. David considering this bolt on the Dreadhorde, I believe. Oh, and it's going upstairs, going to Kent. Kent down to 9. David with 4 points of burn in hand. If he can find another Firecraft and Kent cracks a fetch, that's all she wrote. Ponder is the play off of this Dreadhorde Arcanist. Going to be exiled. Hydroblast among the cards, so very problematic for David to sneak in 1 more point of damage. No fetch lands among the cards, which it kind of is a path to victory for David if Kent happens to play and crack a fetch. Not the case here. It's going to be Tarmogoyf replayed. Brick Wall. David showing us the Exquisite Firecraft. Thank you very much, David. But not that card. Mystery card off the top for David DiMolanta. Rift Bolt suspended. Oh, excuse me. Rift Bolt on the stack. Kent doesn't have... Oh, he has a Force of Will. And now he's down to 6. I believe that's Hydroblast or Blue Elemental Blast in hand for Kent. Swinging in for 5. And going to be 8 total points of damage on this swing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. David down to 4. Hex Drinker, the play from Kent. We get to see Hex Drinker in action on stream, folks. That's right. Hex Drinker. Force in hand, Blue Elemental Blast in hand. Rift Bolt off the top. Gonna get Blue Elemental blasted. And David's gonna extend the hand. GG Kent Ketter takes game 3 and the match. Rug Delver triumphs over Burn. Good game. Man, that was awesome. We've got 4 minutes and 22 seconds left in this round. That was a good game, huh? Kent with maximum hand gestures. Maximum speed hand gestures. I don't even think I could move my hands that fast. All right. Let's bring it back to the booth. Welcome back, everyone. Michael Tessier in the booth for you here. And we are bringing you 4, count them 4 rounds of Legacy action. And it's just me here for you. Someone commented on the golf style commentary. So glad to bring that to you. Solo booth, that's right. What a great match. If you're just tuning in, we don't just have the likes of Kent Ketter and David DiMolanta in the house. Guess who else is here? Another well-known name in the Magic community, CVM Chris Van Meter is in the house playing Legacy right here. Hope to get him on camera. And then a bunch of your favorites, your favorite locals as well. Lots to talk about as far as Legacy. We just saw Rug Delver. Is this the best deck in the format? What are your thoughts? Is Rug Delver the best deck in the format? Is it, follow-up question, is it oppressive? My thoughts, I do think it's the best deck in the format. And I don't think the deck is oppressive, but I do think Wrenn and 6 could be problematic. Would love to know your thoughts on this. I like that silky smooth commentary. Thank you. The most popular and probably possibly most consistent Rug Delver. Yeah, Golo's post. I have no idea what Golo's post is. But if you're talking about Cloud Post, That is true. Cloud Post against Rogue Delver, maybe a favorable matchup for Cloud Post. I think there are certainly good matchups against the Rogue Delver deck, but I'm beginning to think that it might be the best one, the best deck in the format. Let me know in the comments, in the chat, what do you think? Uh, Meanwhile, let's talk about GP Atlanta. So cool. What a top 8. Won by Cyrus Corman Gill, Cyrus CG from just Legacy fame, playing his deck, Ad Nauseam Tendrils. What a great time to be playing Ant, huh? There are Delver decks, but is Ren and 6 really that good against Ant? Probably not. Uh, could Ant be the best position it has been in a very long time? I think maybe. Mono Red Prison is certainly a playable deck right now. Moon Stompy type of decks, very playable. And we've also continued to see Mono Red Eldrazi on MTGO challenges and leagues continue to place. I think that that's a deck that has some some. It's interesting at least, and it's cool against a sea of Ren and 6. That's a problem for Ant, but we're not seeing enough of it. We're not seeing enough Moon Stompy, Mono Red Stompy type of decks to really force out a deck like Ant or cause trouble. Let's talk about Cyrus Corman Gill, though. Taking down Eternal Weekend and taking down this GP. That is that's a pretty good, all within the span of what, a year? That is very impressive as far as legacy, along with all of his other top 8s and accolades. Time and round, folks. If you think we're done, we're not. We've got 3 more rounds of legacy action coming straight at you, and you get to be with me. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thanks for being part of this conversation. Let's catch up on some of what people thought here. Tim Wilder, top 8 on Sunday. Congrats to him in the PTQ. Yeah, Tim Wilder with playing a main deck Gideon in his No Miracles Miracles list. First of all, I love that list. What are your thoughts on No Miracles Miracles? Secondly, Tim Wilder, of course, has to add his own spice, putting in that main deck Gideon. Yeah, I think Ant is in a good spot right now, says Spiffy Neostar, the notorious PMD. Yeah, I agree. I think Ant's stock is up for sure. It has always had the ability to play around soft permission. Yeah. Ant, it just seems so resilient sometimes, and it's just sometimes the matchups aren't there. I think is the sometimes problematic part for it, but the matchups are there right now. I think in a world where people are trying to out Ren and 6 each other, Ant looks pretty good. We are bringing you 4 rounds of legacy action. We just watched round 1. That's right. We just saw Burn, which had an appearance in the top 4 of GP Atlanta, square off against Rug Delver in the hands of Kent Ketter, and Kent prevailed. He was victorious in the match, so maybe we'll see more of Kent as the night wears on, but we are hoping to get many more matches under camera for you. And by you tuning in every single week, you make this stream possible. So thank you for watching. And of course, we couldn't do this if we didn't have Card Kingdom too. So if you are big on customer service and you're big on supporting Legacy Stream, Card Kingdom's a great spot from which to order cards. I just had an order today, and I had to make a bunch of alterations to it after I had submitted order. And the customer service person, shout out to Leif, the customer service person kept asking me after every email, like, "Oh, is there anything else I can help you with? Is there anything else I can help you with?" And there was. I kept having to change a couple things in the order, and great customer service. Always. I've always had. I'm not just saying that because I'm here. I just always have had great customer service with Card Kingdom. I keep seeing it get owned by Vale and Ren recently. I'm not sure if you're talking about Ant. Veil of Summer. Hmm, that's an interesting card, huh? Love seeing that card. Matt Sokolowski in the house. He only plays with beta duels. I know. I've never owned a beta duel. I've held one. It was Matt's. uh, a lot of other folks in the house here, and we're so glad to bring you Legacy Action week after week. Let's talk about the other top four decks. We've already talked about uh, Ant. Rug Delver was the other finalist, and that was a Rug Delver featuring a Magmatic Sinkhole in the main deck. Magmatic Sinkhole, of course, being the Delve card that can deal 5 damage to a creature or a Planeswalker. And in the world of red and 6, dealing 5 to a Planeswalker for 1 red mana, that's a big game. Thank you, Turtle Twinkle. Appreciate it. Tim Wilder also played Palace Jailer in his list and owned me round 5 of the Legacy PTQ. I got him down to 2 life and 1 life. You know, Cheeks like, whoa, I've been there. You get Tim Wilder against the ropes, but he always plays those decks that can fight back from nothing. Ah, I've been there. I've been there. I know what you're saying. I know how you're feeling. Tim Wilder. And then he kind of sometimes accelerates his pace of play and slows it based on how well he's doing. If he's doing really badly and he has to in the match and he has to think his way through a complicated experience situation and try to find his out, uh, pace of play slows down like really slowly, and you're like, okay, you're thinking hard. I must be ahead here. Palace Jailer, though, also a card that's seeing play sometimes as a 2 of in the sideboards of those non-Miracles decks. If you haven't seen them, check them out. No Terminus, sometimes Supreme Verdict, 3 Monastery Mentor, 3 Snapcaster Mage, and 2 to 3 Jace, 2 Teferi, 2 Narset. And sometimes Arkham's Astrolabe, and sometimes not. That deck is cool. I like that deck. I like that deck. And of course, like we just mentioned, 2 Palace Jailers sometime in the sideboard. There is a 5 and 2 deck from the most recent Legacy Challenge that's labeled as Miracles, but it's actually Bant. Instead of playing the Magmatic Sinkhole that a lot of the other decks were playing, and instead of playing Monastery Mentors, it is playing 4, count them 4, Ice Fang Coatls, along with Arkham's Astrolabe. Tell me that isn't sweet. You're going all in on your Planeswalker plan to win the game there with that setup. Ice Fang Coatl instead of the Monastery Mentors. Whoa. Banticles, yeah. Bant Miracles. Legacy power levels of hair magic tonight. Oh, thank you guys. I try to keep it nice for all you folks at home. Let's get this. Let's get this. What we got next? I was trying to burn him out as Rug Delver. Oh yeah, Cheeks like, well, been there. Tim Wilder. Always can escape those little. Any Hogak decks in the room tonight? Brawler Cable, you are in luck. There is a Hogak deck, at least one of them, in the room tonight, and it is in the hands of a very capable pilot. If I'm not mistaken, excuse me. Aha. It is in the hands of a very capable pilot, not the same one I was thinking of. It's in the hands of Boy Wonder Tom Lynch, normally a show and tell aficionado tonight, playing with Hogak. The version including 4, that's right, 4 Hedron Crabs. We're playing Hedron Crab and Legacy, folks. 4 Hedron Crab, 4 Stitcher Supplier, 4, of course, Altar of Dementia. Dude, this deck has 4 Grave Crawlers in it. 4 Hogaks. 4 Vengevines, 4 Bloodghasts. That's a lot of damage from the graveyard. And then you know what else? He's got 3 Force of Vigors in his sideboard. Legacy's in a cool place right now. I gotta tell you. Until Ren and 6 starts homogenizing it a little too much, in my opinion. Not everyone's opinion. We're in a great place right now. Hogak is actually pretty cool. Also, by the way, Hogaks you can pick up for like $2 or less right now because they just got banned from Modern. And this is going to be a legacy playable card just about forever. This is a pro tip from Jeremy B. Edwards, who, of course, was a Star City Games writer from back in the day, back when Star City Games looked like an ancient website. You can look up Jeremy Edwards' Star City Games articles. Anyway, gave me that pro tip. I thought, that's genius. You can pick up all these Hogaks now. They're never going to reprint that card. Why would they ever reprint that card? And it's always going to be playable in Legacy. Hashtag MTG Finance. Taking a look at our pairings right now. Can't wait to get some of these folks on here. Looks like we've got. I'm doing this all by myself too. I'm trying my best. Oh my goodness, man, we've got some good ones here tonight. Do we want to see Spice or do we want to see established decks? Take the Spice now? You're right. Let's take the Spice now. Table 1, please. Yes. Sean and Matt. Oh, yeah, if you want. Yeah, that's right. We're going to go with table 1. You guys are going to get to see. Oh, man. I picked Rug Delver. Sorry. It's against some spice, though. Some real spice. How about Naya Spice Landvrick? Naya Spice Landvrick. Don't even know what that means, but we're going to find out. The spice must flow. Thank you. Any increase on the pace of a blue-white deck is welcome. That means no counterbalance. Great. I like the non-miracles mentor deck. Hogak may have wrecked Modern, but it has a perfect power level for Legacy. Interesting perspective. Guess what? I've got a surprise for you all. It's a good surprise, too. Joining me in the booth will be, fresh on his bye. This is a 1-round guest appearance from the one, the only, Jeremy B. Edwards. That's right, longtime Magic player. Jeremy played back when there was actual Wizards of the Coast stores. They had like storefronts where they had a tournament center here in Seattle area. This is how long ago Jeremy played. Jeremy played so long ago that he wrote for Star City Games before like there was any Star City Games circuit.
Before it was professional.
This Jeremy has been playing for so long. He predates the dojo.
It's true.
It's true. Jeremy's been playing longer than the dojo. Let's get Jeremy in the booth here. Welcome, Jeremy. Here's your microphone. Okay, here you go. I'm gonna pull down the gain on that bad boy so we don't get blown out by everyone else. Welcome, Jeremy.
All right, we're going to test the mic.
Welcome.
I don't want anybody's head to explode.
We are. Let's get you up here. All right. How's that?
How's the volume so far?
Let's get you up here.
Too loud?
How's that?
Now I can hear
Okay.
Mike.
Yeah. I can hear you.
All right.
Okay. Guys, we don't have our normal producer here.
This is also the first time I've ever used headphones for this.
Yeah.
So This is very
Here,
new.
get in the frame here. Let's get you in the frame. That's right. It's Jeremy Edwards, folk. Jeremy in the house. All right, let's send it down to our matchup. Let's see if our guys are okay. It's gonna be rock paper scissors. It's gonna be rock paper scissors. We've got Matt Sokolowski on your left, and you know what? I still have four $5 Watsy bucks. What were those? Can you tell the folks
Oh,
at home what were five? What were the?
the tokens.
Yeah, what were those?
They used to have at the Wizards Game Center an arcade upstairs. Jordan was actually just showing a token. I have the same silver token. It has the WotC logo on one side and it says Wizards on the other side.
Uh-huh.
I'll have to bring one next week.
Oh yeah, that'd be a cool little relic from the past.
So we got Sean and Matt's. Sean's probably doing something with
Oh, there's a stifle.
3 or 4. Wow, he has Blood Moon in his hand. How does he have Savannah and Blood Moon?
It said Naya. It said Naya Spice Landvrick was the note I had. I had to get it on. Okay, Matt Sokolowski just played a beta dual land to stifle Sean's wooded foothills, and there's a beta volcanic island. Matt only owns beta duels. He doesn't even own revised. Did you know this?
I think a lot of his duels are actually alpha, but
Oh my
obviously
God.
his
Alpha too.
yeah, obviously his volcanic is beta.
And Sean attempting to swords to plowshares, not gonna get it through. Days from Matt after the Delver of Secrets. And Sean's deck, I mean, we've gotten to see him get stifled and dazed so far. I want to see the spice, though.
So Matt is probably just on the stock Rug Delver. Looked like a Ren and 6 in his hand there. Sean has. I have no idea what's in Sean's deck.
We have no idea, and that's what's so cool about Legacy, and what's so cool about former Legacy level 3 judge Sean Catanese.
Yeah, he's got to kill the Delver first, but it hasn't flipped yet, so at least, well, now it's probably flipping.
There it is. Brainstorm at end of turn for Matt. This was a pass from Sean, and he has stalled out on just that one Savannah, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, if he gets wastelanded, it's probably just over. But he has a Dramoka's Command.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
the card he's thumbing in the front. It
And
looked
a
like
Dreadhorde
a
Arcanist,
Dreadhorde
too.
Arcanist.
Ponder's going to flip this Delver, and there's an Insectile Aberration on Matt Sokolowski's side. Swinging in for 3. Sean down to 15. You know, you might be a level 3 judge, but that doesn't give you any superpowers in a game, except you know all the rules.
That's a pretty good power.
Ren in 6.
That's like the old school omniscience.
Ren in 6 ticking out. Polluted Delta back in play. Doesn't matter what blue duels you use when you're playing this Rug Delver deck.
So Matt's on the Mongeese. I've been seeing a lot of different people's opinions on what to play in that slot. We've
Right,
seen
Hex
some
Drinker.
Arcanix and
Arcanist.
Hex Drinker.
Yep. That's what we saw. We just saw a little bit of Hex Drinker, a little bit of Arcanist from Kent Ketter, who's in the house.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah, he's at must have won his round. He's at table 2.
he did. He defeated David DiMolanta on Burn. And also we've got CVM in the house tonight, too.
Yeah, nice.
Chris Van Meter. Folks, if you're just tuning in, you are watching live Legacy action. This is round 2 of 4 from Seattle, Washington. We're at Mox Boarding House in Ballard. Thank you for tuning in. We do this every single week. You're listening to Michael Tessier and Jeremy Edwards as a guest host for just this round. 1 round only. It's Jeremy Edwards who has the bye. That must have meant, Jeremy, round 1 didn't go so well for you.
It was a cool round. It was a special bye. It's pretty rare that I am able to just hop in the booth like this.
So glad to have you.
It was basically just Wasteland versus Caracas versus Knight of the Reliquary Mirror that I played. So I was not on the the winning end of that, but it was a fun game. I got to lose to Queen Marchesa in the last game.
Nice. Queen Marchesa.
Yeah.
I think Legacy's in a cool spot right now.
Yeah,
Your
there's
thoughts?
a lot of sway in the archetypes because there's
Mhm.
so many high-powered new cards.
Hmm.
Uh, there's a lot of options. It's not just 3 or 2 things that you can be doing in your archetype. You can maybe try to build it from the ground up. I got to see the Hogak deck is here. Tom's playing that with
Hmm.
the
Hedron crabs.
with Hedron crabs
Pretty
and
cool.
the Altar of Dementia.
Your thoughts on Renin 6? Is it
Powerful card.
is it too powerful? Is it dangerous?
No, but we were actually talking before the tournament how everybody hates the Arkham's Astrolabe, mainly
Mm.
because they can't play the basics that they want to play. They have to play snow covered
Oh,
just because
you
you
can.
have like 25 years of magic art that's all glorious. And Lauren was saying that she shouldn't play her summer forest.
You're right. That's right.
And yeah, it's just strictly better to play snow.
Oh
And it's like, this is
no.
such a tragedy that,
It's locking you into playing.
yeah, you only have 2 choices. And uh, Chris Wessel was playing the new snow because he doesn't like the Ice Age snow card. And it's like, well, you don't have a choice. You just have 2 choices.
3.
Is there
Ice Age, Cold
foil?
Snap,
Oh, cold snap.
and
Well, cold snap's
Mono
terrible,
Resonance.
so that's not a real choice.
We are going on to game 2, and I know we haven't seen much spice yet from Sean, but it's coming. I hope.
So it looked like he had a Renegade Rallier in his sideboard that he was either boarding in or boarding out.
That sounds awesome.
But he's going to need some more lands. Rug Delver, the original Wasteland Stifle deck. Well, not the original, but the most feared, maybe. The one with the rep.
Yes.
It's the reputation for don't keep a 1-lander or 2-lander against this deck. Make sure that you can actually play basic lands.
Hmm. Sean with his fresh 7 here. Taking a look. Hmm. Still. Oh, it's a keeper. We're gonna put a card back. Still not sure what Sean's playing. Okay. Yep, that's right. You don't draw another card, Sean, and
That is
here we
a
go.
Wasteland? Promo Wasteland?
Promo Wasteland. Yeah. Judge promo. Probably Sean might have received that card.
Maybe that's what this deck is, just all Judge promos.
All cards that he's
Yeah.
received over the years. I like that.
That would be sweet.
Matt Scones says, I'm on the cold snaps. You know, Jeremy, I don't mind the cold
All
snap.
right, I have to, yeah, I'm big fan of the old frame, so
Yes, Ice Age.
if you like the cold snaps, no offense.
I'm on full art Modern Horizons foils.
Ooh, okay,
Oh,
Plateau.
yeah. Nice. Plateau, Wasteland,
There's the
Dreadhorde,
Arcanist.
Arcanist.
Doesn't have any food right now, though.
Nope, nothing to replay here.
I wonder if Sean's deck has pump spells. Because that'd be pretty sweet to flashback.
That would that would be awesome. Here's the biggest blow to this situation. Matt played a revised Tropical Island. I'm really disappointed.
It's probably because he has the others in another deck.
Oh,
And
right.
just
Probably
wasn't
a vintage
gonna
deck.
wasn't
gonna
well,
move
wasn't
around.
gonna just be like, I'll just grab 4 more
Yeah.
from Card Kingdom store.
Brainstorm the play for Matt in the face of this
Yeah,
Dreadhorde
2
Arcanist.
surgicals.
Oh my goodness. Does he know what Sean is on? That he's playing Renegade Rallier and Dreadhorde Arcanist somehow?
Maybe he was just like, I want to know what's in your deck, man.
Oh, right.
I'll take a fetch land and figure it out.
Yeah. For those of you who are watching at home, Sean is known for playing some of these more
Esoteric decks.
yes, some of his own spice.
He likes the card Phyrexian Obliterator.
Yep.
And the card Dark Depths.
Yep.
And creature toolboxes.
Yep.
Fauna Shaman.
Ooh. Just anything that could potentially make you sad and curious.
I got to see him play a Maryland of the Morn Song deck in
Oh,
Modern
yeah.
1 week, which was awesome.
There's a lightning bolt from Matt, and that's going to take care of that Dreadhorde Arcanist. Back to Sean, but the draw is a Riftstone Portal off the top. There's the Riftstone portal right there. What's that card?
He's gonna want some way to get that in the graveyard so he can turn on all of his mana. If you have Riftstone Portal in the graveyard, you can tap for a white-green on any of your lands.
Wasteland's gonna hit the Volcanic Island from Matt after this fresh Dreadhorde Arcanist hits the battlefield. Red Elemental Blast in hand for Sean. Follow up Tropical Island and Delver of Secrets is the play for Matt. Matt kind of sandbagging both a Volcanic Island and a fetch land. He does have access to red mana, and perhaps he does not want Sean to know at this stage. Wooded Foothills the play.
Red Elemental Blast, that's something you can flash back.
Oh.
Probably would like to cast a spell. That way he could maybe flash back on a Force of Will or something.
Yeah. Gonna get a Taiga here. Does Sean.
Riftstone Portal is just tapping for colorless right now. It's pretty embarrassing.
Gotta keep checking it though. Kyoji and Neostar enjoying the Sean Catanese spice. When you're a level 3 judge, the world's your oyster.
Oh man.
And there's a Dreadhorde
The
Arcanist.
lowly attack.
Just for, we saw a lot of that from our last game. Sylvan Library going to get met with an immediate Spell Pierce. And here comes the Red
Fight
Elemental
back.
Blast. No response from Matt, and that's a big-time play. Sylvan Library going to hit the battlefield. There's a flip for that Delver of Secrets off a Force of Will. One turn too late, Matt. I bet you wanted that last turn. Fancy looking library, sure is.
I think Matt's going to play
Full
this
art extension.
True Name Nemesis here.
In for 3. Sean down to 16. And you are correct.
I don't know what Sean's deck is going to do about this True Name.
Sylvan Library.
There's a crop rotation. That's a way to get that Riftstone Portal in the graveyard.
Okay, you're totally right. Yeah.
It's a choice pick for that. I look like a Elvish Reclaimer.
I'm so glad you're here because you can. It's the crop rotation in hand for this from the Sylvan Library. I believe we've resolved the Sylvan
Is
Library.
that a lightning bolt? What's the red card? Must be a bolt.
It is a bolt.
Yeah.
Plateau tapped. Pass.
Oh my gosh. You could crop rotation and then get it back and rotate again.
Oh.
That would be nice.
Maybe that's.
I don't think he has enough lands to do what he wants to do with that, but ooh, now we get a target.
Okay. Let's crop rotate.
Gotta rotate.
I'll tap it for green,
You're already losing the land.
says Sean. Oh, he doesn't want to get dazed. Or
Yeah.
forced. He knows about the force as well.
Yeah, but he doesn't know there's a blue card.
There's the
And
sack.
there isn't a blue card because Matt played the True Name.
That was on the sack. Oh, and Matt's going to say okay. What kind of goodies does Sean have in his toolbox deck?
Maybe he has an Urborg. Urborg Obliterator, that would be awesome.
One of Sean's pet cards.
He
being
does have
Obliterator.
Thespian Stage Dark Depths in
Okay,
there.
there's the depths,
so-
yeah. And maybe he's on the flashback plan. He does have a Riftstone portal, so he could get rid
This
of
is
that.
going to be pretty gross, though.
This is. Oh, no blue card in hand for Matt Sokolowski. 2 lands and a Force of Will. So this Dreadhorded back crop rotation is going to be able to get him the whole combo. Elvish Reclaimer, you were right. Among the cards in the Sylvan Library.
Needs another land, though. That was Swords and Veil of Summer? Yeah.
Yep. Swords, Plowshares, Veil of Summer, Elvish Reclaimer, and Sean's going to take the swords and the...
Oh, he did
it's
have a
mountain.
land.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
Veil of Summer. There it is. Veil of Summer. Dreadhore's going to attack. Crop rotation. Flashback.
It's got to tap his land. There we go.
Riftstone Portal going to the graveyard. Now turns all of his lands into green or white tappable lands. It's like a super Urborg, kind of, but better. Thespian Stage in play. He's got the mana available.
Got to go now because you know he's got a wasteland.
Sean might make a 2020 here.
Yeah, he has the floating mana, and he also has the Riftstone ability on the Dark Depths, so it taps for mana.
Playing it like a pro.
And Matt has no answer.
All right. Merit Lage will not even enter the battlefield. The threat of a Merit Lage is enough to send Matt Sokolowski packing on this game 2.
Wow.
We're going to game 3.
So Matt's sideboard looks like he has no answers for a Merit Lodge. He has Dismember, Forked Bolt, kind of an older build of Rug.
I think I've seen. What are they playing right now?
Caracas and Crop Rotation. And
oh, right. Yeah, that's right. Crop rotation. Yeah.
sometimes like Echoing Truth or Vapor Snag or Submerge. I see a lot of Submerges.
Mm-hmm. I like the crop rotation for Caracas plan.
Submerge is also just really good in the mirror.
Yes. Also,
So
yeah, for sure.
I think that's why people are back on so many Submerges.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, when we were talking about Dreadhorde earlier with pump spells, people were saying, oh, it'd be awesome. You just play Become Immense, and then you get to immediately flash it back because your guy gets huge.
Oh, yeah.
And you could just, I guess, flash back anything at that point
Right.
in your graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
Some,
Might of Oaks?
yeah. How big does it have to be to flash back Cruel Ultimatum?
8/8, right?
8/8. Is it just
3, 4,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7. Oh, 9. Is
yeah,
it? No,
maybe
7.
two pump spells into that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
probably careful study that one. Or Entomb.
Entomb.
Entomb
Okay.
Cruel
for
Ultimatum.
Yeah. I like it. Plus 6. Yeah, so 7. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
We're going to game 3, folks. Sean Kittanese, former level 3 judge on your right. Crop rotation in hand. Riftstone Portal.
Looks like he has enough
Red
lands.
and 6. Naya Arcanist. That's right. That's a good name for this deck.
Good suggestion.
Naya Arcanist. Thank you, Drake. 250Z. We'll call this one Rug Delver. How does Rug Delver sound to you guys? Is that a good?
That's a classic name.
I don't know if you're following, but the R stands for red, the U stands for
oh my goodness.
blue, and the G stands for green. So together.
Yeah, a million times better than the cons names.
And we're going to see a Delver's Secrets met by this Red Elemental Blast from Sean. Back to Matt.
It's a red and 6 up top.
Red and 6 off the top. Uh-oh.
This Wasteland could be pretty good.
Wasteland on the Taiga. Sean's got a Riftstone Portal in hand, so no worries.
I don't know about that.
Blood Moon among the cards in Sean's hand as well. Ponder from Matt.
Well, Blood Moon, if he ever resolves it, will be quite good against a Matt's mana base.
Yeah. What do you do when you can only play Lightning Bolts?
No Young Pyromancers in this deck.
That's right.
Can't play your True Name off all red mana.
Nope. Waste your bulk.
Waste you.
but Matt with the trop on top.
This is like Patrick Sullivan's favorite game of Magic. No permanents on either side, full graveyards.
Wooded Foothills in play for Matt. And there's a land on top for Sean. Lucky Sean. Excuse me, no, it's a Dreadhorde Arcanist. Uh-oh. Sean could be in trouble here. He needs to find a colored source of mana. Ristone Portal in play. Matt thinking about if he's going to crack this. He is going to crack it. End of turn.
So you saw a Submerge there from Matt. So that is an answer if Sean gets a Merit Lodge. And it has a Forest. Might just do all his white green from the graveyard.
The draw for Matt is a Daze. 2 lands in play. It's a Wrenn and 6.
Maybe that wasn't a Submerge. Maybe that was a Daze.
Bring back Wasteland. Trouble for Sean.
Yeah, it wasn't. They're both Nemesis cards, so same
Yeah.
frame.
Yeah,
Same
similar color.
Same color.
Yeah. It's a Wooded Foothills for Sean. Not out of the woods yet, but a little closer. Dreadhorde Arcanist to play. Going to be awfully hard for Sean to get up to 3 mana with that Wasteland recurring every turn. How the heck do you beat a Wrenn and 6?
Lightning Bolt's not bad. A Lightning Bolt's a great card to flashback with Arcanist. It's maybe even just the best card to flashback.
Yeah. Spyglass. Raging Queso, nice. Abrupt Decay. Hey, these are all great solutions, everyone. I agree. The Bolt's going to take care of that Dreadhorde Arcanist. And,
Yeah. Hey, Sean might get the Blood Moon next turn. Nope.
no chance. Wasteland's going to come right back. Hydroblast, said Matt Scones. Yeah, that's true, too.
Wonder if Sean has any Lotus Petals or Mox Diamonds.
Dramoka's Command.
That's looking kind of awkward right now.
I think it's a Horizon Canopy in hand. He does have 2 lands in hand. Wasteland and Horizon
Canopy isn't the worst, because if Matt comes after it, you get to redraw.
Right. Oh, right, because you got the Riftstone Portal. Riftstone Portal in the graveyard, activating. Oh, but he's going to choose the Wasteland.
Yeah, putting Riftstone and Portal in the graveyard is kind of questionable.
Why do you do this?
It is killing a land, but it's also turning into other, like, colorless lands become colored melee. All his lands become savannas, basically.
Yeah. And there is that recurred Wasteland from Matt. Sean's going to crop rotate in response. Big time play from Sean. And Matt's just sitting on a Daze and 2 Stifles. He's got nothing going to stop this. So Sean's going to get to crop rotate. What is he going to get? He's got a Horizon Canopy in hand. He's going to get a basic land, a forest. He's going to get to slam this Blood Moon.
I mean, we'll see if it resolves, but the slamming's still nice.
Wasteland returned.
Will be really awkward if he ults the Wrenn and then just like, yeah, I can just discard these lands and bolt you over and over with my red mana.
Yeah. Delver the play for Matt, and he's unfortunately holding up a Daze. Ooh, a Faithless Looting in hand for Sean, though. Can find a little gas here. That card's banned in Modern. Blood Moon the play. It's going to get slamma-jammed. Daze in response. Leopold Antonio asking, how did Sean win last game? Matt just scooped it up because he didn't have an answer to the Merit Lodge, and he couldn't kill Sean on the subsequent turn.
Yeah.
So Matt opted to just end the game early instead of going through the motions. Wrenn at 6, now up to 7. That's ult territory, and Matt's gotten like 6 turns of, not 6, but 3 turns of Wastelands just for free. Delver in. Sean down to 17. Scalding Tar in the play for Matt. So Sean has one turn of reprieve from this repeating,
Oh, there's the basic.
unceasing
It's got all his
wasteland.
colors now.
All right, Naya. Naya engaged. What are we going to see here? It's
His
a
own
Ren and 6
Ren and
of his
6.
own.
Oh man, he can ping the other Ren and 6. Keep it off ult.
Do you think that's what he has to do
I
here?
think he has to do that because he's just gonna get bolted otherwise.
But uh-oh. Matt's going to stifle the activation, I think. Let's not forget.
Oh no, he's picking the Delver?
Going to take that Delver.
I don't
Can I
like
borrow this
that.
die? Isn't there some kind of rule, Sean? You got to bring your own die. Is that in the rule book? Ping the Delver is on the stack, and Matt might stifle it. Ooh, brainstorm
No,
in
he's gonna
response.
brainstorm.
Let's get some information first.
Oh, Daze Flusterstorm Stifle.
Uh-oh. Matt firmly in the driver's seat. Tropical Island. I love this board state. It's going full goofy. Yeah, I mean, how often do you see plains, mountain, forest? Just in general, in Legacy. Plains, mountain, forest. I can't even think the last time.
It's like we mixed up the beta draft with the Legacy deck. Let's get a wall of brambles out there.
Last weekend was Magic Fest Ren and 6. You say that, yet Ant won. Burn was in the top 8.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting top 8.
That was a cool time.
Did you see our own Tim Wilder got
with the PTQ
top 8 at the
8.
PTQ the next day? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty solid, huh?
I don't know how many players they had. Like guessing like 200.
I was told that he had a main deck Gideon.
He did. Yeah. Didn't see any Teferis. All right, Sean's Ren is down to 1. And it's getting pinged off. But Ren's not going to ult next turn, so. Sean still has a window. I'm sure Sean wants this Dromoka's command to fight at some point. Faithless looting, that's interesting. Oh, you get to discard a Riftstone portal. It's kind of nice. Get a Swords to Plowshares so we can get rid of this Delver. I think he may just lose this Ren and 6 though. I don't think Sean has a whole lot of creatures in his deck.
Faceless looting, the play. Beta basics in the graveyard. Beta duels across the table. Swords to Plowshares in hand. And there it goes on the Delver.
Flusterstorm. Delver lives another day. Oof,
Lightning Bolt.
it's a good one.
Sean, elbows on the table, one card in hand. I'll tell you what, Sean's got a pretty good poker face, though. I never know when I'm ahead or behind against him, based on his demeanor. Jeremy, you likewise have a pretty good poker
Oh,
face.
well, thanks.
You'll draw a card and then put it down kind of the same way, no matter what it is.
I did play poker before I came back to Magic, so maybe I got that from poker.
I like it.
That was like 2003, maybe 2002, 2003.
Uh-huh.
It's much better at Magic than poker, though.
A lot of crossover, of course.
Yeah, there's some,
David Williams, Eric Froelich, among some of the best poker players, and
Jesse Hampton.
Jesse Hampton.
Fantastic poker player.
Oh my goodness. Fantastic Magic player.
Indeed.
This Delver of Secrets swinging in is going to get met with a red Elemental Blast.
Matt could have ulted. I think he's kind of greedy.
I agree. I think that
You
that
don't
was
want
a
to just take the ult.
prime ult situation. Elvish Reclaimer in hand for Sean. And he's going to cast this Reclaimer. Dramoka's Command, the other card in hand.
Hey, what if Sean had cast like Banishing Light
Right.
or played in
Magmatic
a
Sinkhole.
Magmatic Sinkhole.
Right.
He's playing Faithless Looting. That's a great
Yeah.
potential choice.
Yeah. Reclaimer on the stack. Matt thinking about what he's going to do here. Does Sean does Sean have a chance? Oh, he's going to pass. Sean passed. There goes.
All right, now
Renin
there's
6,
the ult.
ulted. Is that resolved? Yes. What are we retracing here, Matt?
It's gonna retrace some Lightning Bolt.
Take out that poor Elvish Reclaimer. Bolt, retrace, Bolt. Matt says. Sean says, I'm going to Dramoka's Command this and make you do it one more time, dude. It gets +1/+1.
That'll just get dazed, but
That
was a nice try.
Guys, we just saw Dramoka's Command, Elvish Reclaimer, Dreadhorde Arcanist all in the same deck. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, Naya Arcanist. Interesting builds.
Matt Sokolowski takes game 3 and this match. And we just finished watching our game 3
There we
of
go.
round 2. And I'm going to try to get us another
As long as it's up, the cord is fine. I just was the cord was under your foot for the whole match, so my head was like stuck in one position.
Oh, you could have.
It's
we should have communicated
much better now.
We should have communicated better on that one. Okay. All right. I'm gonna try to get us another match there. Be right back.
Let me there we go. All right, chat. You got me for a few minutes. Hit me with some questions. Players are just gonna de-sideboard. Get to see a little more of Sean's spicy deck. It's the Dramoka's Command, the Blood Moon, Dark Depths, Sylvan Library, Driftstone Portal, Elvish Reclaimer. It's probably wanting to fight with Merit Lodge or something. Dramoka's Command does a lot of things. It's my Dark Horse deck of choice right now. Maybe Dredge.
Table 10, Joey versus Martin Scar.
Cool. Joey versus Martin Scara. It's going to be our backup match. Joey's going to be on Turbo Depths, I'm assuming. And I don't know if we have deck lists. Or we definitely don't have deck lists, but scouting for these guys. We can go through the page here.
Martin on left, up again.
Cool. Okay, so Martin Scara, found him. Our scouting report says he's on Bug. Huh. Scouting report has Joey France on Show and Tell. Yeah, that looks like Show and Tell. Mike's stepping back in.
Okay, folks.
We'll get this overlay updated in a second. Although it might be a quick game because it looks like Joey may be about to show and tell or sneak attack
Uh-huh.
Martin away.
So, Joey on sneak attack, sneak show, and Martin, it looks like, is on no miracles, miracles.
Yeah, I think the scouting report was wrong because it's definitely not bug.
All right.
Uh,
They might be tied at 101 here. All right, Arkham's Astrolabe. What do you? So, okay, aside from the idea that it reduces your basic land options.
I think there are reasons to ban cards that are external from the power in the game, and this is one of the
Oh my
rare,
goodness,
rare circumstances.
that's amazing. What do you think of this card in general? Is it?
I do think it's just improperly costed. I think it should cost definitely snow to activate, and it probably should have some other
sort of barrier to
yeah,
entry.
not maybe drawback attached to it, minor
Right.
drawback attached to it. There has to be some. It can't just be free like this.
Mhm,
Because the
mhm.
issue is you can't even just destroy it because
Right.
they've already got their card out of it,
Right.
and it's basically rainbow. So
Joey with a plethora of lotus petals. Just no shortage of mana for Joey, but no action yet, it seems.
I think Joey's gonna ask Henry a
A
question.
judge question away from the table
While
here.
he's doing that, I wonder if we could get their names in. France is Joey's last name. Franz.
Got it?
Sorry, Frantz.
Yep.
And then Martin's last name, Skara, Skarra.
Wasteland the play for Martin. Going to take out that volcanic island of Joey's. Polluted Delta, the follow-up. And, you know, if you just tell me there was someone playing this No Miracles Miracles deck and had this shirt on, I would tell you it was Tim Wilder. But
Does look a lot like Tim's
it's-
shirt.
It's not. It's Now here's the thing. Look at this.
Martin's arms are bigger than Tim's arms.
This
so-
this might be bug. This is bug actually, because he's got Bloodstained Mire,
Hmm.
Bug Snow.
Yeah, you're not gonna get.
You'd never played a Bloodstained Mire.
Also, another reason to ban
Right.
Astrolabe, you can't even tell from what fetches people have because they could just be anything.
There's a Baleful Strix for Martin, and gonna draw a card. Could this be an 8 Strix deck? 4 Coatls, 4 Balefuls,
Maybe.
an 8 Death Touch deck? Not sure what's going on for Joey on his side. Oh, there's a Cunning Wish. And a
Sneak
sneak
attack and
Do-
Cunning Wish and I think Show and Tell.
Not, or Impulse,
last
I
card?
believe, actually. It looks like.
Well, end of turn Impulse would be real nice.
That'd be great. Baleful Strix in for 1. Narset, Parter of Veils, enters play.
Well, Impulse isn't drawing cards, so you're safe on that.
Okay.
I'd still
Might want to fire it off in
Impulse.
case you get a brainstorm here
Yeah,
or something.
Impulse in response.
Yeah. But nope, Narset's going to go ahead and
Tyrant Scorn.
Ty-
Jace, Tyrant Scorn, Astrolabe, and Brainstorm.
wow. What do you think of Show and Tell's place as of recent?
Heck, it's pretty favorable. You don't really want to fight the Turbo Depths decks,
Of which there are many.
but you're pretty happy with most of the rest.
Ren and 6 decks you're okay with?
Yeah, you're just like Ren and 6 doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're just either playing something big before Ren and 6 or ignoring it. You can fetch basics, so
Mhm.
it's just like before where you're fighting the clock basically with Delver and Tarmogoyf. And you're just fighting through the red blasts and the fluster storms.
Joey cracked both fetches and went for a volcanic island, but opted instead to get 2 basics. Save himself some heartache from Wasteland or the like.
Yeah, if you already got
Here is the
Wastelanded, you're not going to
impulse.
test that again.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Joey really needs these lands. He's got a pretty mana-intensive plan in his hand. So here's the impulse. You get to put an instant or sorcery in your hand. You got to show it though.
Yeah. Well, Impulse is just any card,
any card.
right?
Excuse me. Yeah, you're right.
You
yeah.
just grab one card and then the others go on the bottom.
Ooh, it's gonna be a Grizzlebrand. Joey's gonna try to go for it with the sneak attack here, and going to be sorely disappointed because Martin's got Force of Will in hand. The Great Equalizer. Format staple.
I
Force
wouldn't
of
say
Will.
it's an equalizer.
It's the Great Equalizer. It says, oh, were you trying to do something unfair?
Oh, there's a sneak attack. I can't imagine this is going to resolve, but
No possible way. There's the Force of Will. Gonna pitch a Baleful Strix. Sneak attack down. And Martin Skara down to 17. Got that Narset Parter of Veils in play. Gonna make things pretty challenging for Joey to catch back up here.
Ponder.
Oh, man. Dig Through Time.
Ooh,
Complete.
Hydroblast, Force of Will, Liliana's, that's the Diabolic
Triumph.
Edict. Yeah,
Yeah.
Liliana's Triumph.
Mhm.
And another Ponder.
Liliana's Triumph. Pretty good against Sneak and Show.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be a Force of Will that Martin takes, though.
Only issue is that Martin isn't putting a lot of pressure on. So
Right.
Joey's going to have a lot of turns to redraw and try to combo again.
There it goes, the Baleful Strix in for 1. Joey down to 16. Tap 4, Jace. Deploy. No response from Joey.
Fate Sealer Brainstorm. Ah,
The brain.
we got big dice right there.
It's going to be a brainstorm here. Martin looking for more protection or more gas or... oh, there's a Leopold.
Yeah,
A
I
little
like
redundant with the Narset, don't you think?
I like brainstorming. You just want to put a clock on and
Looking for a clock. Is that your... There's a Flooded Strand from Joey off the top. Cunning Wish says, put it in your hand?
yeah,
Yeah.
choose a card from your sideboard.
Is that an Assassin's Trophy?
Maybe. Cunning Wish is actually an instant, not any card, for clarification. But yeah, you get it from your sideboard and then it goes to your hand. So he could, Joey could find Intuition, and that could get 3 Show and Tells.
Badlands the Find for Martin.
Yeah, it does look like an Assassin's Trophy on Martin. Yep. And he has a Leovold behind that.
Swing for 1 from Martin, and Joey's down to 15. Again, like you said, no clock.
Oh, just a little bird. Not the scariest.
Joey's going to fetch out another island. And he's going to go for the Cunning Wish now. That's going to get countered. Just, directly.
Looks like Martin's going to let him have it. Cunning
All
Wish
right,
gets
there it goes.
exiled.
What are we finding here? Oh, through the breach
That's
immediately.
nice.
Joey does need another mana source, and he found it. But going to be a little disappointed here.
Probably just going to jam.
Have to jam it. No choice. Got to jam it. There it is, through the breach. That's going to get forced.
Yeah.
Hard cast force. Oh, no.
Looked like not hard cast.
Okay.
But
It could have been.
Ponder should be exiled. There we go.
Gotta try to bleed Martin out of these. Folks, if you're just joining us, you are now watching live Legacy action from Mox Boarding House in Ballard, Washington. Thank you, XJ Cloud, for the host. And for all of the players at home, all the viewers at home, Jeremy, we're now watching Bug Snow against Sneak Show.
Yeah, I don't know if Martin got that live point. I didn't see it myself.
I didn't see it either. He did not. So let's get that cleared up here. All right, thanks, folks. Getting that fixed up. Sneak attack.
Wow, is that a crop rotation that Martin has? Yeah, well, there's the natural Caracas, so.
Big time play, but Joey does have two different creatures in hand.
I think Martin should just Assassin's Trophy this sneak attack.
I think so too. I think
Not get too comfortable with the Caracas.
yeah, passing here is a big time mistake. Joey has access to two different creatures with this sneak attack, and there is the Assassin's Trophy. No response from Joey available, and there goes the sneak attack, and he's going to find a basic land.
Joey's got the two monsters, Emrakul and Gristlebrand, but no way to get them onto the battlefield.
Live Legacy action here from Mox Boarding House in Seattle, Washington. Michael Tessier and Jeremy Edwards in the booth for you. Jeremy on a special guest hosting appearance this round only. That's right.
Yeah, when we have an odd number of players, there's going to be a player who has to buy, so.
And Martin's going to go ahead and surgically extract this sneak attack that he just Assassin's Trophied and get a rifle through the deck. And I mean that is some rifling. Look at the. I don't do one card at a time. I kind of just fan them out. What's your technique, Jeremy?
Yeah, that was assertive.
Yeah, that was an assertive surgical, assertive extraction. Excuse me. Back to Joey, and now Martin knows that he's got both monsters in hand,
Yeah.
and the surgical's gone. What is Joey hoping for? In for 4, Joey down to 10. Not giving up.
I didn't see if he had any of the creature that artisan.
Oh, Arcane Artisan.
Arcane Artisan.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I don't think that was in the deck, actually. We saw every card in the deck, one by one, very quickly.
I don't think Joey's gonna win this, but it's we can just see what's gonna come up, and maybe Martin will just start fate sealing. So
Right. Ancient Tomb, the draw, and the play.
this is actually a great position to start fate sealing because you're so unlikely to lose. You just want to figure out what's on the top of your deck. Is it a blank or is it a card that I need to bottom?
Surgical among the cards on this brainstorm, or excuse me, Sylvan Library. Martin's going to go ahead and take 4. I think you could just take 8.
I don't know about taking 8.
You're not taking 8?
No.
I take 8. Swing for 4 from Martin, and that the life total is 9 to 6. I know it looks a little strange there. Joey's 6.
Oh, there's another Cunning Wish.
Cunning Wish could do something. Martin going to take a look at his sideboard. Intuition among the cards. Could that?
Yeah, Joey could get Intuition for show and tell. and then just get surgical and feel bad.
Right. Trick Vine, Surgical, Firemind's Force. He's got the whole. Joey's playing the Cunning Wishes along with the Sneak and
If
Show.
this were earlier in the game, he might like to Cunning Wish and then pass the turn and then Firemind's Foresight and then try to rebuild from there. The honest Firemind's Foresight. But he's just going to die next turn if he does that, so.
Right. And his impulse, I'm not sure if he played multiple impulses, but he's got at least one in the graveyard there. This is kind of an interesting puzzle for Joey because, if you're assuming that Martin has, one piece of interaction or maybe no piece of interaction, what are you doing?
I think Joey's just figuring out. I think this is the first week he's played Sneak and Show.
Oh, okay.
He's been on Turbo Depths before this and
Got it,
then
got it.
Burn before that, but
Mathing it out.
I don't think Joey played wrong. I think he
No, of course.
played based on how his, like you often do with Sneak and Show, you play to your hand.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Martin did let that Sylvan Library first card join his hand. We, of course, were able to see it, that it was the card that...
Yeah, you gotta be careful of that.
Yeah, I can't do that in competitive REL. That'll get you every time.
You will have been considered to have paid the life.
Yeah. There's a Cunning Wish from Joey. Get him resolved. Can't use this Ancient Tomb. It's a dead land now. Intuition, the choice.
This might just be tap my Ancient Tomb. Feel like I did something. Nope.
The draw. It's a Scalding Tarn. Joey France extends the hand, and Martin Scar is going to win Game 3 and the match. Showing still had all these.
That was a stacked hand. Yeah.
The old still had all these.
I think Joey wanted to draw Omniscience and then be able to show and tell Omniscience Emrakul to try to win that way.
Yeah,
but
yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to bring it back to the booth here.
All right.
That's right.
Keep this cord up so I don't get strangled.
Back to the booth. Michael Tessier, Jeremy Edwards in the booth for you. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got 2 more rounds of Legacy action. This isn't it, everyone. We've got 2 more rounds of Legacy action. What did you just see behind the curtain? We're in a live game shop. That's right. We're at Card Kingdom in Ballard, Washington, in Seattle. And there are people playing games right behind us right now. And we've got a whole tournament room over there filled with the Legacy tournament. In front of us, behind the camera, there's more board game space, retail space, and behind that, there's a cafe and restaurant. If you're ever in the area, make sure you stop by. You can borrow games for free. There might be an EDH game playing around sometime.
Yeah, on Tuesdays, right? It's EDH
I think
night
tonight
here.
too, Mondays.
Yeah, they have a lot
Mondays,
of
Tuesdays,
EDH players, yeah.
Thursdays they have 2DH, which is the $2 or less format. A lot of stuff going on. And we do this every single Monday night. If you like Legacy action, make sure you hit that follow button, and you can see us every single Monday night streaming live 4 rounds of Legacy action. We've got some of the some Legacy stalwarts here, week in and week out. Tonight, we saw in round 1, Kent Ketter, former SCG grinder, Kent Ketter. We saw in round 2, former level 3 judge, Sean Catanese. And also in the house, we've got Chris Van Meter.
Yeah.
And Jordan Isaka.
It's true. How has
favorite.
he not been on camera yet?
It just,
he would just instantly be in the booth. You had like an open space in the booth, and there's no Jordan in the booth.
Yeah.
That's like unprecedented.
And I've mentioned this already to folks, but if you're just joining us, this is Jeremy Edwards. You can Google Jeremy Edwards Star City Games and see some of the most original, old school Star City Games articles ever written.
I'm going to table 9.
All right, farewell. Good luck,
See y'all
Jeremy.
later.
Let's get table 2. That's right. It's going to be back to solo Michael here. So glad to have you here. What's it sound like if I do two mics? Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, man, what a great night of Legacy action. So glad to have you here. When you tune in every week, that is your vote of confidence in the Legacy community in this stream. Thank you so much for doing that week in and week out. And we're here week in and week out for the same reasons, because we love Legacy. We love Magic. We love this community just like you do, and that's why you watch. You like seeing brews. You like seeing spice. You like seeing high-level players playing tier decks. And we bring that all to you every single week. And when you watch, you are part of the community too. You're not just a passive viewer. You are joining our community. You're part of the store here with us. So thank you so much for tuning in. We still have two more great rounds of Legacy action coming up. I want to get table 2 in here. Yeah, come on in. Table 2. And guess what? We've got another guest host in the booth. It is renowned, renowned Seattle area legacy brewer Leo Zockler. Leo, welcome to the
Thanks
booth.
for that introduction. I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Leo, you are of Zombardment fame.
But now Zombardment's good. You know, Hogak is basically Zombardment, right? And now
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah, so you're off it.
So
'cause
I'm off it.
It's a tier deck now.
Yeah, exactly.
Tonight, I saw on the list Pod.
Yeah, tonight is Pod. Pod had been having a really good run, but I think the run is officially over. So no longer. Pod was on a great run of at least making its money back, but not anymore.
All right.
But now I get to cast, which is great.
Welcome. We're gonna see Chris Van Meter.
Oh, all right.
Square off against Tom Lynch, the boy wonder himself.
Do we know what Tom is on? Show and tell like usual?
No, Tom tonight is on Hogak.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Tom Lynch, Chris Van Meter.
And Chris is on red black, right?
Oh, is he?
I think he is.
Okay,
I think he's
cool.
on red black.
Okay, great.
Splashing white, I think, for sideboard leyline destruction.
Okay, Tom Lynch on Hogak and red black. Oh, that's a good. Okay,
This is gonna be
that's gonna be a
off to
fast
the
one.
races. Yeah.
All right. Let's send it down to the match and see if they're already going here. There we are.
Great.
Get to see right in time for the roll. There's a
Oh
7.
yeah, which is probably very important in this matchup. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a lot of the determining what goes on here is that roll.
Chris Van Meter on your right, Tom Lynch on your left. For those of you unfamiliar with Tom Lynch, he's a sneak and show player. He's the boy wonder. Smart guy. Been playing Legacy for the past several years. Chris Van Meter on your right. Just Google CVM if you don't know his
Yeah.
exploits.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but he was also a big show and tell player for a long time, right? He used to play it just a ton.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're
yeah.
absolutely right.
So we got completely not on their respective decks of fame, I guess, but
Chris Van Meter is he's written articles. He's been a grinder. He's been there, done that. If it comes to Magic: The Gathering, one of the cool things that he does here at Card Kingdom is he builds and tests all of the battle decks, which are like
neat.
$6 to $8 decks that are meant to be introductory decks or
Yeah.
just for fun decks.
Yeah.
You can just pick up and play.
I found they're great for introducing people to Magic. I have a couple of buddies who, just always played kind of casual kitchen table in the past, and they've been a great way to kind of get them back into it.
Yeah, and Chris actually balances them, retests them. He has to change some of the cards sometimes because Card
Too
Kingdom runs
good.
out of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So taking a look at our opening 7 here, looks like Chris does have lands, Entomb, and Reanimate.
And
So
I think that's a Marsh Flats, not a Chancellor, right? I couldn't quite tell.
I think you're right. Yeah,
Okay.
Marsh Flats. Tom thinking about
Tom's
his
sending it back.
7, and it's going to go back.
So I think Chris's deck in a vacuum is faster than Tom's.
Okay.
Right? So you're
Yep.
going to have a lot of turn 1 Grizzlebrands, and I'm not sure if Hogak has a good way of dealing with that.
Yeah.
Just because, Hogak can build up a pretty impressive board state, but unless you're getting the altar kill, you're going to need a swing and attack, and I think that all the just big, beefy threats that Chris puts out are going to do a pretty good job of kind of stonewalling that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And we'll take a look. So Tom, I think this is his first time ever playing this deck too.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this deck did pretty well at GP Atlanta, right? I think it top 8'd or something like that just
The Hogak deck.
yesterday, the day before.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. With the 4 Hedron crabs.
Yes. Modern Mill All-Star Hedron Crab.
Yeah. Can't play Hogak anymore. That's not allowed.
So what? Okay, I can't quite tell what's in Tom's opening hand, but it looks like he likes it better.
Yeah, a little tough to
Um,
see. This is Mulligan to 5 looks like.
I see an altar, the new bordered altar, some lands. So I think as long as he has an enabler, Tom's going to be happy with a mulligan, just because the cards in your yard are so much more important than the cards in your hand.
Mm. Marsh Flats turn 1 for Chris Van Meter. Bloodstain Mire, and Tom is going to go ahead and crack that.
It's a slow start for Red Black Me Animator. Usually you want to turn 1 play, but Chris is absolutely better at playing this deck than I am. So I'm going to defer to his mulligan decision.
Seeing an Underground Sea and a Careful Study, the jig might be up, and Chris might just go as fast as he can now seeing this.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's any deck that plays slowly with Careful Study.
And so for people coming from Modern or maybe Standard, Careful Study, basically just blue Faithless Looting with no flashback.
I believe that's a Hogak and a Gravecrawler discarded off that Careful Study. And Chris is going to end of turn fetch a Badlands and Entomb.
Right. Yep, so he did have a turn 1 play, which makes this hand a lot better, I think.
So here it goes. Probably find Grizzlebrand.
Yep.
There it is.
There's
And then a Reanimate.
A Reanimate or Animate Dead. Oh, no, we saw he has a Reanimate in his opening hand, so that's probably going to be the spell of choice.
Okay. Tom definitely going to be behind the 8 ball here. Going to need to find an out. Of course, Tom's got a pseudo infinite combo.
Yes.
If he could set it up, which is completely agnostic of life totals.
Yeah, so there's the Animate Dead. I think Chris choosing not to go Thoughtseize Reanimate because he knows that Tom is playing a deck that won't have any answers to this pre-board, so you don't need to worry about protecting it.
Mm-hmm. Well chosen. Unmask among the cards in hand. Dark Ritual and another Grizzlebrand. Another Reanimate. Or and a Reanimate, excuse me. Chancellor of the Annex as well.
So I don't think there's any fast mana in there, any artifact mana, I mean, so it looks like he's probably either gonna, yeah, he's gonna go again.
Chris is going to go ahead and draw 14 cards
Ah, Grizzlebrand.
in his main phase. Grave Titan, one of the
Oh.
cards in his main deck.
Okay. Looks like still no fast mana, so probably gonna just cast some unmasks and then go down to hand size and bin a bunch of these.
Oh, and
big
Tom
cards.
is gonna scoop in
All right.
response, not let Chris have the pleasure of seeing his cards in hand and exposing the Hogak
I like
surprise.
it. I like it. Well, no, because Tom had pitched a Hogak.
Oh, excuse
the-
me. Yeah.
So I'm wondering what he's. I think maybe just he knew it was over. I don't
Yeah.
think you're hiding that much information. There aren't many decks that play Hogak and Underground Sea that aren't this deck exactly, but
Mhm.
I like it. I still like it. It's a little way to feel like you got a victory.
Yeah.
You can't see my hand. I'll scoop.
So I believe Tom is just playing the exact top 4 deck.
Okay. Yep. I see
Uh,
Vengevines in there.
excuse me, top 8 deck.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Did it get top 4? Or was it top 8?
Yeah, it was a
6 or
top
something?
8 there.
Okay.
And it does have 4 ley lines, 3 Reverent Silence, and 3 Force of Vigor, along with 2 Surgicals, 2 Thoughtseize, and a Cabal Therapy.
All right. Okay.
So what are you bringing in?
So I think you're definitely bringing in those ley lines and probably the surgicals.
Mhm.
I think you're with the Reverent Silence. It's a consideration because you wonder what the Red Black Reanimator graveyard hit is. I'm not totally sure what the
Right.
stock list played. Did they play ley line? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I think they must.
Yeah. So if Tom thinks that they're going to bring in Leyline, that Chris is going to bring in Leyline, then he's probably going to want to bring in the Reverend Silence.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, then it becomes this completely dead card. Sometimes you can snipe an Animate Dead
Mm-hmm.
or something like
Right,
that, but it's
yeah.
not what you want to be doing.
Right. Yeah.
So I think both the sideboards are probably going to be pretty straightforward except for that decision. The interesting decisions for sideboarding in these matchups, I think, are what anti-hate do you want to bring in, because what do you think the other deck is running?
Mhm.
Although, looks like Chris has Magus of the Moon, which could be quite good. I'm not sure how many basics this Hogak deck is running. I know some other versions played a lot of basic swamps, but I'm not sure if this deck plays basic swamps if
Mm.
you're playing both the Crab and the Careful Study.
Right, it might be a little more challenging. And indeed, I think it's only got 2 swamps as
Okay.
basic lands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of fetch lands. So if Tom sees this coming, he can maybe fetch around it. But
Right.
also, if he has an opening hand with a crab, you need to play the crab turn one. So
right. Yeah, a little trickier if Chris does decide to go with the Magus plan.
yeah.
Wear and tear, I did see in Chris's Chris's deck as
Yeah.
configured now, so he is trying to beat potential Leyline of the Void.
Yeah. So it looks like it's the same decision for him as to what kind of hate he thinks that Tom's deck is packing. If he recognizes this list from the GP, then it becomes a much easier question to answer because he'll know that, okay, there are probably 4 Leyline on the board. These wear tears are probably coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So Leo,
yes.
you've seen the GP top 8. What are your thoughts on the state of Legacy right now in general?
So I think this isn't necessarily reflected in the GP top 8,
Uh-huh.
but I think Astrolabe is potentially a little problematic, which doesn't seem like it on its face. It's just a kind of piddly little 1-mana artifact that draws a card.
Right.
Um, and I don't think it's worth like banning or anything at this point. I think it's as time goes on just to see how it shakes out. But other than Astrolabe and kind of the 4-color nonsense decks that it enables with
Mhm.
all these basics, I think the format's in a pretty cool place. I think
Cool.
it doesn't feel like it's stale. It feels like fair decks were really good for a little while, and now we're maybe going a little more toward the unfair decks. But Rug Delver is good again, so that's always there to keep it down. It seems like it's in a good place. I
Cool.
think.
So you have no issues with Ren and 6. You're feeling pretty good.
No, so I think if you're gonna do something about that format,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think I agree with the Spiffy Neostar there. I think if you're gonna deal with that format, you end up dealing with Astrolabe instead, or excuse me, with that archetype.
Mm-hmm.
Because Ren and 6, you're at least still playing cards that are soft to a card like Blood Moon. You're still playing cards that can get wastelanded, even if that plan is less effective.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Astrolabe not only fixes your mana, but it allows you to play all these basics. So in this nonsense deck I'm playing, this 4-color, artifact pod deck,
Mm-hmm.
I get to play 5 basics. So
Oh my goodness.
Blood Moon is just not a good card in this 4-color
Right.
splashing a 5th color for Brea, what like this really
Wow.
color intensive deck.
Mhm, mhm.
And I think that's not necessarily, that feels like Deathrite Shaman to me a little bit.
Interesting.
Also, I love goblins, and so Plague Engineer is just a scourge on this format and should be banned. But
Dude, I also dislike Plague Engineer. Both
Yeah.
of our competitors here had taken a mulligan of 6. They both mulligan their starting 7. Chris Van Meter with a Coffin Purge in hand.
oh yes,
That's
so
cool. Oh, and it's surgical too.
that's
Oh,
great
shoot, just
because
Coffin Purge.
you can entomb for that, which is awesome.
Yeah. What a cool one. Yeah,
Martingale, that's a good point. That's a good point, and it is awesome that it's cool that it helps 2-color decks as well. Something like Miracles. if you
Leyline of the
want.
Void turns 0 for Tom Lynch.
Okay.
Excuse me, you're saying
No, you're
about
fine.
Astrolabe.
I agree with you, Martingale. I wish it didn't come at the cost of some kind of other deck building stuff.
Mm-hmm. One of the other little splash effects as Chris Van Meter deploys a polluted Delta and passes, gonna have to find an answer to this Leyline of the Void.
Yeah.
That we talked about was that it kind of constrains your basic land choice. You don't have as much
Yes.
personal
Yes.
flavor.
Oh, interesting.
You,
Yeah, I
you
like
have
that.
to. You only have 3 choices.
I like that take. I
right?
like that take a lot. Yeah, no, it's a bummer. You gotta play the snow basics,
Yeah.
and that's they're good. I love the snow island with the weird tiki head, but but
The
yeah,
Ice
you're
Age
right.
one,
I
yeah.
think that's a cool way to express your preferences in Legacy.
Yeah. Careful Study is the play
Um,
for Tom.
what did he play before Careful Study? Is there?
I
Oh,
think
excuse
this
me, a
must have
Chancellor
been
was
a
revealed.
yeah, Chancellor. Yeah. It's gonna be Bridge from Below and Bloodghast hitting the graveyard. That's right, HR 89. If you're just tuning in, folks, you're watching live Legacy action from Seattle, Washington. This is Card Kingdom, Mox Boarding House Ballard, and we've got Chris Van Meter in the house playing Red Black Reanimator. And he's already taken game 1 over Tom Lynch, the boy wonder, who's playing Hogak with 4 Hedron Crabs. That's right. Leyline of the Void in play, Hedron Crab somewhere in the 75. And Chris Van Meter is in the house.
Yeah.
Michael Tessio and Leo Zockler bringing you all the action in this round.
All the legacy action. And so I think this is end of Tom's turn, and Chris has an interesting decision. If he wants to exile that, and he decides not to. Okay, if he wanted to exile something from Tom's graveyard, maybe the Bridge from Below. Unfortunately, the Coffin Purge, you'd only get half the effect because of that Leyline in the Void. But it looks like he's going to choose not to and try to look for something to deal with the Leyline first before going after Tom's game plan.
So the Coffin Purge just being a one-shot deal here. There's a Reanimate from Chris Van Meter's
Oh,
side.
targeting the Bloodghast. That is interesting. That card cannot block. I am intrigued.
Big time play from Chris Van Meter. That's a 2-1.
Huh.
He's got a 2-1. Tom Lynch has nothing going. Maybe Chris thinking he can stave off an onslaught with just this Coffin Purge.
Yeah, I'm intrigued because, you know, it seems like he's banking on Tom having a really slow hand. Or, you know, maybe he just has a kind of a plethora of Reanimator effects in his hand. Oh, and there's a Fairy Macabre, which is another great option to slow Tom down.
My. Chris Van Meter in for 2. Tom Lynch down to 16. And Chris Van Meter is on the win with a Reanimated Bloodghast plan.
I love this. I love it when decks that have these, you know, incredibly powerful game plans get to do these just kind of piddly little beats. This is reminiscent of, you know, Depths swinging with an Elvish Spirit Guide or something. This is great.
Right, to win the game. There is a Faithless Looting, Chancellor, and Lotus Petal hitting the Exile Zone.
Was that a Chancellor or was that an Elvish Nora? Oh, you're right. It was a Chancellor. My mistake.
And a Polluted Delta in play for Chris Van Meter. Just that Bloodghast. There's a Stitcher Supplier.
There's a blocker
for Tom Lynch. That's a wall.
Yeah, exactly. That's gonna go ahead and kill the Bloodghast, and unfortunately, not gonna go to Chris's graveyard. Which is again, that's an interesting reanimation target. You know, it's when it dies, it's gonna go back to Tom's graveyard, and then Tom can just get it back again with a fetch land.
Yeah, a little unfortunate chain of events here.
So looks like this is all in response to the Stitcher trigger.
Right.
Okay, and there's the Coffin Purge.
Gonna take care of this Bridge from Below.
So that's another interesting choice. Because Chris has a creature on board, if it ever dies, it's going to exile the bridge by itself at this point. But I think he's just worried that he doesn't have any ways to kill it, and Tom will just never block.
There goes that Marsh Flats, and
there's a
Chris is going to Fairy Macabre in response. Bye-bye Vengevine.
Okay. So Chris has a lot of reactive cards here. I'm not sure what the last card in his hand is. Looks like another Fairy Macabre. Wow. So, do you think that card might get cast? Maybe just as a 2/2 flyer?
That would be great.
No?
I would love it. I would love that.
If it dies, the Leyline. Oh, you're complete. No, Sullivan Brophy. I don't think that's true because it would go to Tom's graveyard, right? Because it's his Bloodghast.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
This is why you always beat me, Leo. Faithless Looting, the play from Chris Van Meter.
I don't think that's true.
It's because you Surgical Extraction for Chris, and he's just getting all the sideboard cards: Coffin Purge, Fairy Macabre ×2, and Surgical Extraction among the cards that Chris has drawn. Dark Ritual in hand and a land, but what's he going to discard?
So my guess is one of the lands, but I'm not sure on the other card. Did you say there was a Dark Ritual in there?
Dark Ritual as well, yeah.
Okay. My guess is Dark Ritual in a land, just because, you know, Red-Black Reanimator really doesn't need a lot of mana, and 3 tends to be plenty.
Man.
But it looks like he's thinking about potentially pitching Surgical.
Tough choice for Chris, and there does go the land and the Dark Ritual. Faithless Looting, also exiled. No chance at flashing that card back. And now Chris is looking at a Surgical and a Fairy Macabre in hand, unable to cast that Fairy Macabre this turn to continue with the 2-power beatdown.
Oh no, and he's not going to attack because, you know, Tom will just block, and at that point it goes to Tom's graveyard. Unfortunately, Bloodghast also unable to block, so really just kind of a permanent that Chris has that isn't doing anything.
Looks like
Okay, Sullivan Brophy. I didn't realize that. I thought if Chris had a creature that died, even if it was Tom's, it would exile the bridge. But that's kind of a cool interaction.
Badlands, a fetch for Chris at end of turn for Tom Lynch, I believe.
So we've been talking a lot about what Chris has in his hand. Do we have an idea of what Tom has in his hand, or is he playing pretty close to the chest here?
He is. He's not tipping the cap, not tipping the hand here for us.
Definitely both pretty slow starts here.
hmm Altar of Dementia for Tom
Ooh,
Lynch. And
That's
this could really get things going.
yeah, that's quite good.
Stitcher Supplier is going to sacrifice to that altar.
So he's gonna
You mill or
stack the
I mill, he
triggers,
says.
or not stack the triggers. They happen in a very specific order. So he's gonna get the Stitcher Supplier trigger first.
Okay.
And so that's a Hedron Crab, another Stitcher Supplier, and what might be a Gravecrawler. Can't quite tell.
And there's the one from the altar
So
sacrifice.
It looks like Tom has a bridge stuck in hand.
Yes.
And I want to say a prized amalgam, but I can't quite tell. Is that what that card is called? The one black blue 3/3.
That is a prize amalgam, but I'm not sure if it's in the deck.
Okay, never mind then. I'm not sure
Not
what
sure
that
it
last
could
card
be.
in his
It could
hand
be
is.
a crab or not sure. Chris Van Meter taking a look at everything in Tom's graveyard. Of course, there's a second surgical extraction.
Wow. Okay, so now the coast is clear for that Bloodghast to swing in again.
Right. The beats continue. There goes 2 points of damage in. Tom Lynch down to 13. Chris with mega sideboard cards.
Yes, and I really, really hope he casts that Fairy Macabre. I would love for that to happen.
It's going to be a Stitcher Supplier surgically extracted. Bye-bye Stitcher Supplier.
I really like that play, just because, Tom's having a really slow start, so the more enablers you can hit, you don't need to worry about the payoff cards. You don't need to worry about Hogak if there's nothing to cast the Hogak with, basically. So I wonder, could you double check for me, is this list running a Dryad Arbor? Can Tom go ahead and fetch for that to get one closer to casting Hogak?
No Dryad Arbor in this deck list.
Okay, yeah, so
Yeah.
he's very far away from casting a Hogak at this point. So, oh, it looks like Chris is going to choose not to cast that Fairy Macabre, though, unfortunately.
Continues to hold the Fairy Macabre. And back to Tom Lynch, who's got a Hogak in hand.
Another land.
As well as a bridge from below, and now 2 lands. And Tom has nothing going. This Bloodghast is going to continue the beatdown.
Wow, this is incredible.
Faithless looting for Chris Van Meter. He's just drawn all of the hate at the right times. Unbelievable. Man,
A
sometimes
plethora of hate.
how do these players do it?
Honestly, I think this is more hate than Chris would like to see. Frankly, I think this is a lot of hate, and it's been good, but I think he would love some action here.
Oh, and there's a hardcast Vengevine from Tom Lynch.
Oh, I love it. And that is a 4/3, if I'm not mistaken, and unfortunately, Fairy Macabre not going to be able to block it. So if if Fairy Macabre had Dark Ritualed out last turn, then we'd have a race on our hands. But as it stands now, Tom is just solidly winning this race.
Right. Vengevine hardcast. Can't interact with that one. There's an Animate Dead for Chris Van Meter, and he was looking at Tom's graveyard. Do you have anything?
I think he had a Gravecrawler, I want to say, but again, unfortunately, cannot block. Just can't block Tribal here.
Yep. Tom's got a bunch of can't block boys in there.
So Chris probably thinking about whether or not to cast that Faithless Looting. It does look pretty bad with the Leyline of the Void in play, but again, you just need to find some action. You
Right.
need to find something to either deal with the Vengevine or deal with the Leyline.
Chris might also be considering hardcasting the Fairy Macabre to be a one-turn blocker at some point.
I hope so. I love when sometimes Legacy decks just look like, bad standard decks. Like,
Oh, and there's
great.
There's a Dark Ritual. It's happening.
Yes.
Fairy Macabre in
delightful.
play. And then there's going to be an Animate Dead
Oh,
follow-up.
interesting. Is there something in Tom's yard besides the... Oh, there's a Hedron Crab? No, that's...
Oh, and
That
it
can't be
is the
right.
Gravecrawler. Chris Van Meter is going all out aggro.
Oh, no.
He
So,
is going to outrace this Vengevine.
so right now he has 5 power on board because unfortunately Animate Dead gives Gravecrawler -1/-0. So it's a 1/1, can't block, but it's gonna get there. He
Oh
is on
my
a
goodness.
Chris has a 2-turn clock in play right now.
Off the top, I can't tell what card that is uh, from Tom Lynch, and
It's a creature. Oh,
it's a
that's so good for
Gravecrawler.
Tom.
Oh, Carrion Feeder.
So that allows him to have Hogak if he wants, which ends up just stonewalling everything but that fairy and then just cracking back for, enough the next
Oh,
turn.
unfair. We wanted to see the beatdowns get there.
Yes, personally, whenever somebody hardcasts a Fairy Macabre or any kind of Spirit Guide,
Right.
I want to see that go
Make
all
an
the way.
early reanimate on a blood gas.
Yes. Oh,
Ah,
yeah.
so cool. Chris taking a look at Tom's graveyard here. If you're just tuning in, you're watching live Legacy action from Seattle, Washington. This is Mox Boarding House Card Kingdom in Ballard. Michael Tessier and Leo Zockler bringing you all the action.
The hard-hitting Fairy Macabre action. And, yep,
There's
here's
that
Hogak.
Hogak. Getting convoked into play via Carrion Feeder and Vengevine. Tom gonna exile a bunch of cards from his graveyard.
So because Tom doesn't have any Bridge from Belows in the yard, he's going to choose not to do any of the altar shenanigans. Just play it safe because he has an 8/8 Trampler.
Now, that was a Grizzlebrand off the top for Chris Van Meter. Probably not going to be enough at this stage, but Faithless Looting gets him a little closer. Lotus Petal among the cards. And we do know he has Wear and Tear in his deck. We saw it.
So I think, unfortunately, for Chris, I believe he's dead on board. So Chris didn't surgical because I believe there's no Hogak in the yard.
Right.
Um,
That was
so
a Hogak cast from
there's
hand.
nothing to surgical, really.
Yeah. Very unfortunate. The beatdowns won't be coming. But you know what? This is fortunate because we could see game 3.
Exactly. We get to see a game 3, and hopefully we get to see one of these decks just, do what it does in a super real way.
There's a swing for 5, and Hogak's going to block that Bloodghast. Return to Tom Lynch's graveyard.
And we have another spell
Oh, it's an animate then.
on the Bloodghast again. Okay, no. Well, that's not a creature. Okay,
Oh, on the
crab.
Hedron Crab.
Okay, so that
That will block 4 power, so 9. Yeah. So
yeah,
this is enough
that'll do it.
for Chris to live one more turn.
Well, actually, oh yes, you're right. It is. He's one short of lethal, Tom, right now.
Yep.
The Carrion Feeder can grow, but unfortunately not enough. So if Tom draws a creature, I believe this is lethal.
Right. Any creature is lethal. Tom thinking about what's going to happen here. The Hedron Crab can, of course, block this Vengevine and leave open the 8/8 and the 1/1, which can buff itself up to a 2/2.
So Tom in the tank here, but still in a very strong position. Chris has to have some pretty incredible top decks to get out of this, I believe. Even reanimating a Grizzlebrand at this point is quite good. But you absolutely need to spend a 2-mana card to do it, and you can't
Right.
actually activate it.
I think with that land to rebuy the Bloodghast, now he'll have enough food for the Carrion Feeder to win.
Yes.
Oh, unless he doesn't swing with the Vengevine. There's a no swing with the Vengevine, so
I think that's Miss Lethal on board.
yes.
Okay. Okay, yep. And so Tom's gonna pump it, and Chris will go down to 3.
All right.
So
Chris still bought himself a turn.
yeah,
Even though Tom did get the top deck he needed, and there's a hard cast Leyline of the
Interesting.
Void as backup.
Tom gonna go ahead and pass.
Back to Chris.
What is this last card?
It's a Thoughtseize, no good.
No good.
Surgical Extraction and Thoughtseize in hand for Chris. Needs to somehow. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Chris is going to pack it up for game 2. That means we're going to a game 3, folks. And that was a much more interactive Hogak versus Black Red Reanimator game than I could have ever imagined.
Yes, that was extremely interactive. I think that was definitely more interactive than Chris would have liked, and Tom was happy with being the only person to draw gas in a matchup like this, even if your opponent draws a lot of kind of reaction,
Hmm.
you want to be the player drawing gas. They're going to run out of stuff to stop you eventually.
Yeah, and of course Tom opened with that Leyline of the Void on turn 0, which man,
Yeah,
that's big time.
it's very good. So that's almost entirely what the white in the sideboard of red black reanimator is for. You're playing a couple wear tears
Hmm.
specifically as a way to deal with the Leyline of the Void. Just because if you can't, you're hoping to reanimate one of your opponent's creatures or play your Magus of the Moon and just ride it to victory.
Right. And we saw that reanimate on so Chris kind of went essentially for a sort of a Delver plan, right? Try to
Yes.
put a little pressure on and get there
Yeah.
before your opponent can set up.
And yeah, that would Martingale. That would be neat for a reanimated Hogak. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of opportunities to do that unless Tom bins it real quick. Um, the deck really accelerates it out very fast. So, do you think Chris is actually changing anything in his sideboard right now, or is he just kind of doing the standard? I'm gonna put my sideboard back in, and then
And take
you're
these
not
same
sure
ones
if it's the
out.
same.
I
Yeah,
actually think Chris is changing things. Would have been my guess in general, but also I just saw him put in the Magus.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
So just like you noticed between games 1 and 2, could be a good card here.
Yeah. So
And Chris agrees with you.
yeah, I
This is
think
why you always beat me, Leo.
I don't think that's true.
I think I'm like 0 and 3 against you lifetime. So
I don't know about that. The Magus of the Moon could be quite good if it gets out early, especially if Chris can play it turn 1 off of a Lotus Petal or a Dark Ritual or something like that. It can be just backbreaking for Tom because he's only running 2 swamps and none of his spells cost red. There's no Faithless Looting in the deck.
yeah.
Um, so I like that, especially being on the play
Hmm.
for Chris, because if he can get it before Tom has a land drop, then that's just game
Right.
over.
Could be GG. Our players are going to game 3. If you're just tuning in, you better get your friends in here because we've got Chris Van Meter going to a game 3 in live legacy action. That's right, we are live. Michael Tessier and Leo Zockler in the house for you. Taking a look at our opening 7. You still got time. Text your friend right now. Tune in. Chris Van Meter, what do you think of his opening hand?
I think I can't tell what that middle card is. I think it looks good. There's nothing to put in the bin, but I think you definitely keep it. It's got a lot. Oh, and this is why I don't play Red Black Reanimator. Yeah.
Oh.
So the problem is it didn't have an entomb or a creature in hand.
Okay, yeah.
Um, so he had reanimate effect, and it looks like he may have had an answer to something like a ley line. I'm not sure, but decided it wasn't good enough.
All right, both of our players mulliganing down to 7. Tom Lynch, of course, with that haymaker of a sideboard hate card, Leyline of the Void. And Chris, we saw him draw hate piece after hate piece, but it still was not enough
So
to
he
stem the
drew.
tide.
Was it 2 Fairy Macabre, 2 Surgical, 1 Coffin Purge? Was that right? Or was it only 1 fairy? It's a lot of hate.
2 fairies, yeah. It was amazing. Oh, there's the Magus of the Moon. We might see it after
alright.
all.
Yes, so if there's fast mana there, this is
There
very
isn't.
good.
It's a Faithless Looting and a Coffin Purge, which might save him enough. 2 Faithless Looting, 1 Coffin Purge, the Magus, and 3 lands.
And
Oh my goodness.
well, is that a Coffin? I don't think that's a Coffin Purge. I think Coffin Purge only comes in Old Border, right?
Oh yeah. Could that be the
That could
Animate
be-
Dead maybe?
Or Grizzlebrand, potentially?
Mm,
Whatever that black card is, definitely makes or breaks this hand, I think.
tricky. And Tom Lynch, just looking at his cards behind the camera, he's camera aware. He doesn't want us to see his decisions right now. And he's gonna mulligan down to 5. Of course, with London Mulligan, he gets to look at all 7 and hope for that ley line of the void.
Yeah, and I think this. So I haven't played this deck, but I want to bet it mulligans pretty well, just because cards like Hedron Crab and Stitcher Supplier kind of virtually draw you a lot of cards when you play them.
That's a great point. This is why you
Um,
beat me every time. Twitch.tv/Card Kingdom. Link it to your friends right now because we've got Chris Van Meter going to a game 3. This is round 3 of 4 in Legacy action. These players are both 2-0. One of them will be 2-1, and the other will remain undefeated tonight. We do this every single Monday, you guys. If you like what you're seeing, hit that follow button.
And
Tom Lynch,
the matches are always good too. This is
always good.
always good,
This is
always
awesome.
good, always good matches.
This is awesome.
So Tom down to a virtual 5 here. We're gonna see what he ends up putting back. And so I'm wondering, do you think he's mulliganing pretty aggressively to something, or do you think these just have mid-keepable hands?
I think he's looking for ley line, but
Yeah.
at this point, he needs to just pick something that's good enough. Chris is bottoming a land,
Look like a savanna. Or excuse me, a scrubland.
scrubland. Yeah.
Always mix those two up.
And here we go. Faithless Looting, the turn one play for Chris Van Meter. This is game 3, folks, of round 3. Both of these players are undefeated now.
So Chris looking for either a reanimation effect or some kind of fast mana, and I believe he found Dark
Whoa.
Ritual. So
Mm.
next turn, I have a feeling we're going to see Dark Ritual Magus in the Moon.
Could be Dark Ritual Magus. And Tom could be up the creek
Oh,
without
yeah.
a paddle, underground, see the play, careful study, and that is going to be a mountain in just one turn.
That's going to be... So I can't quite see if the last card in Tom's hand is a basic swamp. No, it's a Bayou. Oof, I have a feeling this is just going to be lights out if Chris decides to make this play.
This could be it. There is a
Looks-
Marsh Flats getting cracked.
It looks like there's a reanimate in hand too, so Chris has
Oh.
a lot of options here.
Okay, so this is a good question. If you have this choice, if you have a Reanimate, you've got an Iona and a Grizzlebrand in your graveyard, and a Magus in hand.
So luckily
a
you have
Dark
Dark Ritual, so
Yeah.
you don't have to pick.
You get to do it all.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the Dark Ritual. There's the Magus.
So I like this. This is starting first, so any action that Tom has that's somehow predicated on having an island is okay. And Chris decides
maybe it
not to
wasn't a
use that
reanimate.
last
Yeah.
floating black mana.
Maybe not to leave himself vulnerable to an opposing. Oh my.
So land comes into play, triggering Bloodghast. and
Bloodghast in
then-
play. Altar of Dementia also in play. Can't stop Altar.
All right, so Tom's in hard mode here. No basic lands except, or excuse me, no lands here except to trigger Bloodghast.
Mhm.
But he can still alter himself and just use the graveyard for Hogax and stuff like that.
Okay. So Tom can still fight his way through this, maybe.
Yes.
There's the Faithless Looting.
So I don't know why. Okay, yeah.
Wrong red card. Wear and Tear and Coffin Purge in hand for Chris, and he's going to have that black up. So it's a Coffin Purge, not a Reanimate
Okay,
in hand.
got it. That makes a lot more sense than why he didn't cast that last
Right.
turn.
Yeah. Tom,
Tom's
2
the
mountains
tank
in
here.
play.
And it looks like at least one more mountain in hand, potentially.
Swing for 2. Chris
Or
down to
just-
17.
Might just be a fistful of blue cards as well.
What do you got in there? He says.
There's a
Stitcher
Reanimate.
Supplier. Oh boy. This could be lights out.
So Chris with a basic swamp in play is probably going to just cast this reanimate, and Tom might not scoop, but I think at this point it's going to be solidly lights out.
Reanimate, target Iona.
Yep.
Likely naming black here. Nothing to do. Nothing doing.
So let's see. Yeah, I think it's safe to assume that that is absolutely naming black. Because you have the Magus of the Moon, you know that there's no blue cards that are going to get cast. You're not afraid of something like Echoing Truth.
Bloodghast is going to mill 2 cards. Oh, another Bloodghast
And
and a Hogak.
Whoa. Okay,
Wow.
so Hogak is now. Whoa. This is. Oh no.
No,
Oh
he
no,
can't.
he can't. He doesn't
Right.
have.
Oh! And there goes a Coffin Purge. Going to take out. We're not sure where we're at right now.
So it looks like there may have been. So Tom has priority if the Bloodghasts are both in play. He has an opportunity. So if he played something like a land, that could happen. But it looks like he's just gonna wait because he knows Chris has the.
Yeah. So
the
if
Coffin Purge.
Tom can't cast this Hogak because of Iona on black, likely, right?
Right, you're completely
Yeah.
right. Yep.
So the best Tom could do would be to alter himself with those for 4,
Yep.
right? But here comes a swing for 9.
Yikes.
Bloodghast can't block. Tom Lynch down to 7. That's just 1 Iona swing away from a Chris Van Metered victory. Can Tom Lynch find some interaction? 3 mountains in play and an Altar of Dementia on top. Not gonna do it.
So Tom's probably gonna just hope for the best with these altars, but or these altar triggers. But I don't think there's a way out of this for him.
Swing for 4, he says. Chris Van Meter says, I'm down to 4, but you know what? You're going to be down to 0. I untap with my
Interesting.
Iona, and here it goes. Chris
Boom.
Van Meter is going to win. Oh, he's gonna. Tom's gonna mill
I
before he
like it.
loses.
I like he's gonna milk Chris's deck.
Yeah, Chris Van Meter wins game 3 and the match. That's right, folks. You saw it here on Card Kingdom and Weekly Legacy Action. Chris Van Meter shows up, takes down the boy wonder Tom Lynch playing the new hotness Hogak deck, Hedron Crab. Not gonna get the job done today. Black Red Reanimator showing its muscle, and Chris Van Meter cleaning up. He's a good 3-0 right now.
Yeah, really just showing the power of a card like Magus of the Moon out of the sideboard, where if Tom is, boarding to fight the reanimation plan, a Magus often will just absolutely get there, and just completely shut him off of mana. I think his whole hand was blue spells at the end of the game.
Right, yeah. And I love the Magus in the sideboard. You can entomb for it, and that's a great. I mean, sometimes it's
Oh
lights
yeah,
out against some
absolutely.
decks, right?
Reanimating a Magus of the Moon is often just lights out. Although again, back to Astrolabe being a bad card for Legacy.
Oh.
Magus much worse against an Astrolabe because you can tap a mountain into your Astrolabe and make any color you want.
You're so right. Leo, you're swaying me to the anti-Astrolabe side.
I think it's the bigger offender than Ren and 6 personally. I
Mm.
think Ren and 6 is annoying but not problematic necessarily. But plus it makes Rug a deck, and Rug is a cool deck, I think.
Wow.
So just talking over sideboard strategies, it looks like Chris did what we were talking about and brought in those wear tears for the ley lines,
Mhm.
and then a little bit
Thoughtseize
more
out.
hate.
Yeah. Grave Titan out. Don't need those cards.
Shrilljack, Sam, what were you playing? Were you playing Miracles like always? Blue white? I'm assuming because of Portent that yes. Yeah, I think Astrolabe, even in a deck like Rip Helm, okay, great. Yeah, even in a deck like Miracles, I think it's less problematic there because it's not, fixing mana too much, but I still think it's very powerful. It's a very powerful effect.
Let's bring it back to the booth here. What's up, guys? Michael Tessier, Leo Zockler. In the booth for you. We just watched round 3 out of 4. That's right. We've got one more round of Legacy action to go.
Yeah, and I think there's some interesting decks here today. I know there's at least one person on a Strawberry Shortcake, Red White Painter. We saw that kind of Battle of the Graveyard decks.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sean is always on,
Some spice.
some Sean special. Whatever Sean plays, he's a local here. It's gonna have the Dark Depths combo, but beyond that, it is anyone's guess.
Yeah. So he was on camera tonight.
Yep. Oh, okay,
And
great.
he played Naya. We called it Naya Landfrick.
Yes. Yes.
At one point in the match, he had a basic mountain, a basic plains, and a basic forest in play, and that was it.
Oh, nice. Great. Naya Arcanist. Yeah, so I played against him round 2 and just oof. I think the great thing in that deck specifically is I played around the Merit Lage and just Arcanist and the little Tarmogoyf, the 1 mana 3/4, just got me. It goes aggro very
That's awesome.
well.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Tyler, 49th at the GP on Red Painter.
That's awesome.
Love that deck.
That's awesome. I think, yeah, Red Painter definitely got a boost with a card like Astrolabe plays really well with all the Weld effects, and then also you get the second Weld effect in Goblin Engineer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool deck. It's a very cool deck.
Yeah, if you're in chat and you went to GP Atlanta, let us know how you did, what the experience was like. Love to chat about that. We've got, of course, that top 8. Man,
Oh, yeah.
that was a cool top 8.
Top 8 was very cool. And Storm taking it all down. Cyrus taking it all down, which is... He's very good at Storm.
Eternal Weekend win. GP Atlanta win.
Yeah.
It's all in the span of a year.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
Yes, he's very good at the Storm deck at Ant.
So I love the No Miracles Miracle deck.
Oh, yes, the like Jeskai Mentor or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just Mentor, and it splashes red in the main deck for 2 Magmatic Sinkholes.
Yes.
It does play
sleek.
Astrolab most of the time.
I mean, why would you not? It triggers Mentor. Fixes your mana.
Yeah.
It's good.
Dope deck.
Yeah.
There was a 5-2 from a Legacy Challenge this
Okay.
weekend. Same concept, except instead of magmatic sinkholes and mentors, take out mentors,
Okay.
take out sinkholes,
Okay.
and put in 4 Icefang Coatls.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just green and put in like some Veil of Summers in the board or something.
Yeah, Veil of Summer in the board. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
See,
Oh, yeah.
you're the brewmaster, man.
No, I think so there have been a couple people here playing this ephemerate deck in Legacy
Mhm.
that is just kind of that idea where you're base Bant and you are all aboard the value train. You are just choo choo
Like the
ephemerate
Bant
my
Soul
Icefang
Herder,
Koalo. Yeah,
but
yeah,
in Legacy.
exactly.
Okay, got it,
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
because ephemerating Coiling Oracle feels great. I don't
Mm.
know. It's cool. It's
Nice.
very cool.
Does it play Mystic Snake?
No, it doesn't play. I know. I wish it played Mystic Snake. I know. It does play. So Greg was playing it a couple weeks ago,
Mhm.
and he was playing Archaeomancer, which is a little spicy.
Draw 3.
No. No.
Oh,
Return an
return.
instant or sorcery. Yeah. So you just
Yeah.
get the loop on. He was also playing Orm's Chant for the hard lock, which is delightful.
Nice. Love
And
it.
he's a local here. He did very well at GP Atlanta. I don't know if this was already talked about. He got
No.
18th, I think,
Yeah, we didn't talk about that
which
yet.
is
What was he
awesome.
playing?
Yeah, I think he was on Rug Delver.
Rug Delver.
With
All
I
right.
want to say 2 Arcanists.
Okay.
So yeah.
When push comes to shove, he plays
Yep.
good decks.
I know.
He's he's the
Heartbreaking.
Tin Fins popularizer, but when
Bizarro
push
Stormy.
comes to shove,
Just
he's just
suiting up
playing
Rug.
Rug Delver with Ren and 6. Okay.
Yeah.
But no,
I-
congrats to Greg Mitchell on that finish. Good finish.
I'm not sure. I want to say Arcanist is not stock in Rug Delver, is it? I guess maybe there isn't very much a stock Rug Delver
Right.
list at this point. There are a couple flex slots
Yeah,
that are also.
I think that the threats are actually part of the flex there. Okay, so you're off pod, Leo. What's next for you, or is that a secret, trade secret?
No, I think at this point, probably just gonna go back to Four-Color Loam for a little while.
Okay.
Just tried and true. If I was trying to get back on the brew train, so there's a Goblin Pile Driver, I want to say his username is online or something.
Mhm.
He has been obviously he plays goblins,
Mhm.
and he's been playing like a 4-color goblins deck, splashing basically just for the Mariner, Untethered Mariner. Do you know the card I'm
Yeah,
talking about? It
yeah.
is so it's blue and a white for a 2/2.
Mhm.
Spells and abilities your opponents cast that target you or permanent you control cost 1 more or something like
Mhm.
that. And so that he's been doing okay with that. I'm gonna
Mhm.
say very well for goblins, which is okay for any other deck.
Yeah.
So that definitely is piquing my interest. Although some absolute mad person took goblins to the GP
Mhm.
and got like 35th or something. Like
Mm.
did very well with just regular old red black goblins. So
Gosh.
hats off to whoever you are. That is
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah. Munitions expert.
Yes, munitions expert. Although now that Plague Engineer's around,
Not as good.
significantly, not necessarily worse, but not as good as it was.
Mm.
Playing that into an empty board
Mhm.
doesn't even draw you a card. Just doesn't do anything. Just feels very bad.
Throne of Eldraine.
Yes.
We've got 4 minutes left in the round,
Yeah.
folks. 4 minutes until round 4, our 4th and final round of Legacy Action tonight. So make sure you're staying tuned because we're going to bring you that round as soon as we fire. Michael Tessier, Leo Zockerler in the booth for you. We just finished watching Chris Van Meter play and win in round 3. Let's see who are we going to get for round 4
Yeah.
to top that, man. That was a great match.
Absolutely. The slow game 2 is just, I love seeing it every once in a while.
That was so cool. Throne of Eldraine.
Yes.
Couple surprises. No fairy tribal.
No.
No merfolk or anything. That all surprised me. But some interesting cards.
Yeah.
Anything piquing your interest in Throne of Eldraine?
So I'm not sure about for Legacy.
Mhm.
Although, yeah, as Shuljack is pointing out, the island that comes into play and returns an instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand,
Mm-hmm.
potentially very good. So the
Yeah,
opportunity
to the top of your library.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
excuse me,
yeah,
to the
yeah,
top of
yeah.
your library.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, just all the miracle cards, or even just something like one of the draw 2 spells that Miracles often plays.
Right.
Returning one of those to the top of your library is also
Yeah.
very good, and
Yeah.
the deck plays so many basics that it's rarely going to come into play on tap. That's not a very real downside.
Especially now in the Astrolabe, right?
Yes,
Era.
exactly.
The era of Astrolabe. Easy to have, islands.
I'm waiting for somebody to play something like Miracles with no red sources main deck except for Astrolabe and like 4 Pyroblast on the board or something.
Ooh.
I don't even know if it's that bad. Like, it seems fine. Just completely wasteland proof, and you get to play. I don't know.
I like that. I
but-
totally agree. Mystic Sanctuary, I think, is a big time card in Legacy.
Yes.
I think that it's great for, let's think about it. Miracles, like you mentioned, right? But also like Bug Snow, something like
Yeah.
that. It could be good in.
Absolutely.
Anything that's kind of slow and plays enough islands. Pretty much any deck that's slow and plays enough islands.
And I think you also want to play really impactful instants and sorceries. I
Mhm.
think buying back something like a Ponder or Brainstorm is fine. But it's not really what you want to be doing in a very real way.
Mhm.
I think you want to be using this card because there is a significant drawback. I think you want to be using this card to buy back very real card advantage or something just really game-endingly powerful.
Yeah. Setting up your. No one's playing Terminus anymore.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
are you even setting up a Terminus? You're setting up maybe a Predict,
Yep.
buying back an AK when you've got a couple in the graveyard,
Yep.
something like that.
Just getting back any 2-for-1 seems great.
Mhm.
I could see, I really don't know uh, much about Grixis Control, but if it sees any play in Grixis Control, if that deck comes back at all, you might, buying back a Kolaghan's Command probably feels pretty good. To then buy back a Snapcaster, to then buy back, it seems like a great little chain of events there.
Yeah.
Um,
Also protects cards from surgical, says Sam.
yes. Yes.
That is true. That is true.
So, other than that, is there anything else that you have your eye on?
From Throne of Eldraine, Mystic Sanctuary is the number one.
Yeah,
That's
agree.
the number one. I really can't even think about anything else after
Yeah.
that. That's like, I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
39 seconds left in this round. So Leo, I'm gonna rapid fire ask you questions.
Yes.
And you tell me your thoughts.
Okay.
Let's see. Is Goblins a real deck? Right now.
Right now, no.
Is
It breaks
El-
my heart. It absolutely breaks my heart.
Is Elves a real deck?
No.
Is
No.
Merfolk a real deck?
More so, I think, because it plays 2 mana lords.
Can you believe that Merfolk could be the best tribal deck right
I
now?
know. Oh man.
Better than Goblins, better than Elves,
Ugh.
because of Plague Engineer.
Yeah, it breaks my heart. I think, yeah. Just Merfolk doesn't play as many 1/1s, and the lords cost 2.
Right.
Which is just huge.
Yeah. So your thoughts on Plague Engineer in 10 seconds.
I think that the card is in the TNN camp of not necessarily bannable,
Yeah.
but brings nothing good to the format. There is no benefit from Plague Engineer existing. I think you can play the card and it's good, and no one has ever sat across from Plague Engineer and had somebody play it and go like, "Oh, that's sweet."
Yeah.
It's just like, "Yep, cool, great."
I totally agree, and I'm so glad that she put it in the same camp as True Name Nemesis.
Yeah.
They are identical. It's
They're
like,
identical.
why does this exist? This is
Yeah.
dumb. This
It's
is dumb.
not a card that you necessarily want to see banned for power level reasons.
Yeah.
Or even for, kind of meta warping reasons, although that's more of the case with Plague Engineer, I think. But it's just not a fun card.
Mm-mm.
It's not symmetrical for some reason, so you can't. I got really excited at one point because I played Nick Fit, and I was like, oh, I can play Nick Fit, and I can play Plague Engineer and name Human, and it'll
Mhm.
kill my own Veteran Explorer.
Mhm.
It won't even do that. It's
Yeah.
just, there's nothing interesting about the card, and I think just
Yeah.
not a fan.
Very unfortunate. Okay, sweetest thing you've podded with your pod deck in Legacy.
Ooh.
What's the sweetest pod play you've had?
Definitely, unfortunately, probably Plague Engineer.
Oh my god.
I know, because
That was not a setup.
you can't respond to it. So once the card has entered the battlefield, if
Oh.
it's something like Plague Engineer,
Yeah.
it's just a static effect. So it's happening.
It's happening.
So people will often just let it happen. So I potted away a Baleful Strixen and Plague Engineer to kill 2 TNNs.
Oh my goodness.
Which is just like, it's bad, but it's great. So aside from that, So Fear Phage, I think that's true, but it's a 3-mana Wrath that doesn't have to hit a creature when you play it. Sorry, I'm just responding. So Fear of Phage saying it sounds like you're describing Wrath effects from the perspective of a creature deck.
Hmm.
So it's a 3-mana Wrath effect that doesn't have to hit a creature when you play it. Prevents your opponent from playing more creatures, and can attack.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah, it's a Wrath,
Yeah.
but also like, come on, like
Right.
Terminus doesn't swing for 2 and trade with a Tarmogoyf, even if you didn't name Lurgoyf,
Right.
and also prevent your opponent from playing any further creatures after you've played your Terminus.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
It's like a terminus in play forever.
yeah, exactly.
And
Um,
if it somehow didn't hit it, then it's
it
also
also
has death touch
it
for
also has
some
Death
reason.
Touch because
Why
yeah,
not?
Yeah,
Because Plague Engineer.
yeah, exactly.
Uh, despite that, we do think that the format is pretty sweet right now.
Yes.
I enjoy the format. Look
Yeah.
at that top 8 from the GP. That is
Yeah.
sweet, man.
Yeah, and I agree that with Mr. Lee in chat that aggro is still super fine. I think aggro is still, Rug Delver is still kind of aggro. Rug
Mhm.
Delver is still putting up results, and something like Humans, which I think somebody brought up, is also still definitely doable. Humans gets out of range of Plague Engineer pretty quick, so
Mhm.
it's less impactful than it is against something like goblins or elves.
Yeah.
Um,
One thing that kind of had some rumblings on Reddit right when the GP non-coverage started,
hmm
people were like, you know what I'm seeing a lot of right now is Bomberman. Bomberman, of course, not entirely playable on MTGO
Right.
because you
Yes.
can't loop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Bomberman?
I think Bomberman's cool. I think there was a ton of Bomberman right when War of the Spark came out
Yep.
because,
Karn.
Karn was this new Planeswalker
Yeah.
and it was really good in Bomberman.
Mhm.
I think that Bomberman's probably still pretty good.
Mhm.
I think it's nice because it gets hit by a lot of the incidental hate that all the graveyard based decks that are running around get hit by.
Mhm.
But it also has the Monastery Mentor plan of just playing guys
Mhm.
or playing baubles into your Monastery Mentor
Mhm.
and just completely overloading your opponent. I think a little bit of its extreme popularity was due to the hype train on Karn, but I
Yeah.
still think it's fine.
Yeah.
Have people been kind of saying that it should come back a little more, or
Uh,
what's the vibe?
when the last chance trials were going on, one of the reports from GP Atlanta was saying, "Oh, this is Bomberman's coming out party. I'm seeing a lot of it at
Yeah.
winning, a lot of it in general. Uh, didn't end up showing
Interesting.
up that well in the GP by the end of it, but I don't. Who knows why that is? I'm not
Yeah.
sure. There's a lot of possible reasons.
I think it can be pretty soft to Wasteland
Hmm.
often, despite being monocolor or almost monocolor.
Yeah,
Just because you're playing so many. Does it play basics? I don't even know.
it does. It can play 6 or 7 planes.
Really? Okay.
It's also one of the worst decks against Chalice,
Yes.
too. Chalice on 0
Yes.
nukes the deck besides a Monastery Mentor plan.
Although
That's
I
it.
have seen plenty of kills through Chalice on Geo with Monastery Mentor, just because you still get the tokens.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it feels good, and then your opponent goes off, and you're like, oh no, uh-oh, I'm in danger. Like this is not good enough at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a cool deck. I think we haven't seen it at Card Kingdom in a while.
Mm.
That at least has been my perception.
Yeah,
It seems
no,
to have really
I
fallen
don't.
off.
Yeah, I don't think it's been around either. Interesting observation from Sam Riljack. Report from GP Atlanta. 10 out of 32 of the 3 PTQs plus main event. Okay, so if there were 3
Lot of rug.
PTQs and a GP, and 10 decks out of those 32 were Rug Delver,
Whoa.
says Sam Riljack.
So
Whoa.
yeah, I think
Thoughts?
to me that speaks to kind of a meta in flux potentially.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rug's a great deck to be playing if people are just kind of figuring stuff out.
Mm.
Because sometimes you just rug people and
Yeah.
you stifle and Wasteland and Delver and they're dead. And you have game against most of the format.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because if you have those crazy rug draws, then there's not much they can do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's quite good against kind of.
Thank you.
Ooh, all right.
Hey,
So
Leo, thank you for
it's been
joining us
swell.
in the booth.
Yeah. Thanks for
Pleasure
having
to
me.
have you.
All right,
Everyone, that's Leo Zockler, local brewer,
chat. Have a good one.
legacy expert. Thank you, Leo. Enjoy your round. All right, we are going to bring you one more round of Legacy action. I've got the pairings right here. And taking a look here, do we want to see? What do we want to see? Okay. Sorry, just a one-man show here for most of the day. Okay. I think we want table 2. Yeah. It's gonna be table 2. Okay, we've got another good one for you. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you're just tuning in, or if you've been here with us, thank you so much for being part of our community here today. What? What? No, that sounds bad. I want table 2. No, no way. Jordan trying to get on camera. He's got one win on the night. He's like 1-2. He wants to get on camera. Sorry, Jordan. Maybe next week. Hey, if you're watching us, thank you so much for tuning in. You're joining our community here just by tuning in. And you're giving a vote of confidence for Legacy as a format and for streams like this to keep happening. So thank you. One thing. What? Heading out?
Yeah, 2's out.
Oh, 2's out. God, don't even tell me I have to put Jordan on. That sounds bad.
Who did the 6th today?
Table. Table. Who's table 5? Jeremy. Oh, that seems. All right, put Jordan on. Chat, I failed you. I couldn't avoid putting Jordan on. It's going to be Jordan Isaka. He is playing, of course, Jeskai Stoneblade. And some of you are pleased with it. So that's awesome. That is I'm so glad you guys are happy. We're going to see Jordan Isaka play Magic the Gathering. He's playing Jeskai Stoneblade. He's playing against David DiMolanta, who we saw in round 1. Have a really, he had a heck of a time there, didn't he? With, he had his hands full with Kent Ketter, but he pulled out that game too. That was awesome. So both of these players are showing down now. So we're gonna get Jordan Isaka. Sorry, it's a one-man show here. Gotta type everything in. Blue, white, red, Stoneblade, of course. Because what else would Jordan be playing? Gotta put that in there. And we are going to send it down. Before we send it down, I want to know, where are you watching from? I always love to know. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. From where are you watching in the world? Are you watching from Seattle, Washington, where we are? Are you watching from Atlanta, Georgia, because you're still there after the GP? Are you watching from... We often get folks watching from like Australia, New Zealand. Are you watching from there? Let me know in the chat. Oh, Linwood. Oh, yeah. Kirkland. Oh, yeah. Columbia City. South Louisiana. Thanks for tuning in from South Louisiana. Sao Paulo, Brazil. You know, there are people that tune in from Brazil on the regular. Is there a big legacy community in Brazil? I'd love to know. Washington, D.C. Dice City Games regular. All right. Detroit, Michigan. I'll tell you what, Technomage. I went to Detroit recently for a work trip, and I loved Detroit. I loved the people of Detroit. I loved the feeling I had there. I went to Motor City Casino. That was a great experience. Man, I love Detroit. Taiwan, Calgary. What's up, you guys? Calgary too. You guys should connect. Tommy from Regrets and Xiao Wang. Oh, excuse me, and Matt Elbows. Calgary time. You guys can. Oh man, a few have closed in Detroit for Legacy. How do you know that, Neostar? I know you're Seattle. So it kind of pandemonium to play Legacy. I wish I did. Legacy community is in Brazil is pretty decently sized. Cool. Ohio, Arkansas, Paragold, Arkansas for Scientific. Soy Bars and I met some regular viewers over the weekend. Cool. Who'd you guys meet? Looks like we had a tie. So 6 to 4 to a 3. Jordan's going to win this one. We looked around for Legacy Knights Neostar. That's funny. Okay, Jordan, of course, is the one that's on Blue White Red Stoneblade. And let's get hype. If you are team Jordan, type the number 1. 1 for Jordan. If you are team Burn, type 2 for Burn. 1 for Jordan, 2 for Burn. I want to know who you want in this matchup. This is our 4th and final round of Legacy action, folks. This is it. If you're just tuning in, you're tuning in for quite a match. That's right, Jordan Isaka. You're going to see some white bordered, blue, white, red action here. Obviously, too, look at those white borders. I know. What is this guy thinking? 2 for the Narset mat. That's pretty cool, Matt. Ponder the turn 1 play for Jordan Isaka, and David's going to give it a cut. He was tapping the deck of Kent Ketter earlier. I wonder if he doesn't trust Jordan Isaka. I wouldn't either. Goblin Guide, the turn 1 play for David, and there's a Ponder on the top, not revealing a land. Jordan down to 18. David with a good start here. Ponder the turn 2 play for Jordan as well. And he's going to find 3 cards, but choose none of them. Look at that Jordan Isaka face there. Top down Jordan Isaka. Unbelievable. How is this guy on camera right now? Get this white bordered deck out of here. Jordan did acquire some new cards for this deck today. 3 Monastery Mentors. What's he doing? Uh-oh. No second land drop for Jordan. Big time opportunity for David for glory. There comes a Stoneforge Mystic off the top. That's not a land. Jordan Isaka down to 16. Did Jordan get punished for being greedy already? I think so. There's an Eidolon of the Great Revel. Jordan with a 3rd Ponder. Unbelievable. Can he find a land? No land. Hand in his head. He's going to have to shuffle. Oh, it is a land, but it's a mountain. He needs to find a Swords to Plowshares in order to get through this. Can he do it? Can Isaka find his way out of this? Oh, Swords to Plowshares. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Jordan's just exposing his hand. I'm done with game 1, says Jordan Isaka. That's right. David DiMolanta takes game 1 in 3 turns. Excuse me, 2 turns. David had 2 turns and 1 with Burn. How do you do that? Have you guys ever seen a turn 2 win from Burn in Legacy? It just happened. Is it because Jordan was just so greedy? Unbelievable. I'll remind him, all right, Sam. I'm going to remind him that he asked to be on camera. There's a Back to Basics. That's a good card against Burn, right? Jordan Isaka sideboarding already. We saw 2 plays out of David DiMolanta and Jordan Scoops. Unreal. 2-turn format. You're right. Bring him on for an interview. I don't know if we want to hear Jordan after this one. Jordan, tissue for his tears. Yeah. He can use some of the, So Jordan, when he whiteborders his cards, I don't know if you all know this. A lot of people ask, how does he whiteborder his cards? He uses an eraser, like a friction type eraser, and tape. But here's the thing. There's no good way to whiteborder a card with the holofoil stamp. So unfortunately, they look horrible. All the new cards. If it's got a holofoil stamp, it just looks miserable because he has to kind of go around the bottom part. It looks. Ugh. I did like the whiteborders before he had to load his deck with holofoil stamp whiteborders. Folks, if you're just tuning in, you are watching round 4 of 4 live Legacy action here from Mox Boarding House in Ballard, Seattle, Washington. This is Card Kingdom, folks. If you like what we're doing, if you're hyped, hit that follow button. If you want to tell your friends that you're about to see Jordan Isaka get beat down after a turn 2 win from Burn, go link this to them right now. Twitch.tv/Card Kingdom. Get in here. You want to see Jordan lose to Burn? Get in here. David DiMolanta just running straight up that top 4 Burn deck from GP Atlanta. Isn't David usually a good guy? He's usually on Trops and Tundras? That's right. Yeah. David usually plays the fair decks, but tonight he wants to ruin Jordan's night. And if you're in favor of that too, give a 2 in the if you want to see Jordan Isaka get burned in this match, hit 2. Hit 2. If you want to see Jordan prevail, hit 1. Hit 1 if you want him to prevail. If you want to see him get burned, let's hit 2. Do you have a backup game? This one's going to be fast. To be honest with you, a lot of folks have drawn, so I don't know if there's a backup game. So, folks, we're gonna enjoy all the magic action we can get. Hit 2 for Jordan flaming out. That's right. You're getting hyped? I'm getting hyped. I love to see Jordan Isaka lose. And you know what? David DiMolanta is just the person to do it with this Burn deck. Top 4 of GP Atlanta Burn deck. And look at all these foils he has too. David. Fire Blast in the hand. Smash to smithereens. That's a good one. 1 mountain though, only. Island the play for Jordan Isaka. Get your friends in here. Rift Bolt suspended for David DiMolanta. Twitch.tv/Card Kingdom. If you like what you're seeing, make sure you hit that follow button. There's a ponder for Jordan. We've got 101 viewers. We got 99 viewers. Let's see if we can get it up to 110. Let's increase by 10%. The amount for every pound of weight Jordan sheds in tears. That's the as a percentage of his body weight. We want that many more viewers as a percentage. So Jordan loses 10% of his body weight through tears. We want plus 10% viewers. There's a ponder. Rift Bolt off suspend. Jordan down to 17. Second land for Jordan. Lucky Jordan. Rift Bolt on suspend once again. David DiMolanta. Bring in the burn. Lava Spike the next play. Jordan's going to be down to 14. Now, Jordan's looking to get a Stoneforge Mystic online. That's his number 1, number 2, and number 3 priorities here. He needs a Stoneforge Mystic, and he needs it fast. And he needs to get a Jite or a Batterskull online in order to stabilize here. That's what he's looking for. Everything else is just ways of trying to stay ahead of the curve. Swords to Plowshares, getting a blocker via like an Ambush Viper, like a Snapcaster in play. Using a lightning bolt on creatures. It's all just ways to stay ahead of David in the race. But the only way Jordan can truly get ahead and pull ahead is with a Stoneforge Mystic and equipment in play. But here we go. Here's a Dreadhorde Arcanist. Is this going to just eat this Rift Bolt, or is David going to face? What are you doing here, folks? Are you setting this Rift Bolt off suspend to Dreadhorde Arcanist or to Jordan's face? That's right. If you guys aren't hyped, hey, this is round 4. We're watching Jordan Isaka and his white bordered cards face off against David DiMolanta playing the top 4 burn deck, and that Rift Bolt is going to face. David is not messing around. He wants to end this game fast. Goblin Guide off the top. Firecraft in hand. I did see that too. Excellent card for David DiMolanta. And there's Jordan. He's just pushing that Dreadhorde in front of that Goblin Guide because it has to attack. Snapcaster Mage on the top for Jordan. And there's a Dead and Gone going to finish off this Dreadhorde Arcanist. Did Jordan see that coming? Probably not. Dead and Gone. That Dreadhorde Arcanist is dead and gone. And there's a Umezawa's Jite. Big time play for Jordan Isaka, and big time tears about to come because David D. Malanta's got the perfect answer for that card. He's just going to play it right out. He's not even going to wait. He's not even going to wait. Smash to smithereens. Oh, but Jordan has a response. Force of Will in hand and a blue card. But the blue card might be his only creature. And that's Snapcaster Mage. It is. Oh, excuse me. He might have Meddling Mage. There goes Snapcaster Mage. And Jordan's down to 9 now, folks. For those of you unfamiliar with Jordan Isaka and the type of decks he plays white border Dexy, white borders with an eraser. There's a Swords to Plowshares on that Goblin Guide after revealing an Umezawa's Jite. Jite in hand for Jordan, and both of those players had a good laugh. These guys are having a great time, I'll tell you. I can hear them laughing, having a good time. I hope you're having a good time too. Wherever you are, wherever you're watching from, Brazil, Arkansas, Canada, Washington State, wherever you're watching from, hope you're having a good time. We love to do this every single Monday. Relic of Progenitus in hand for David. Interesting draw. Interesting card to bring in this matchup. And he is going to play it. Could Jordan stabilize here? David's got 4 points of uncounterable burn. There goes. There goes Snapcaster Mage. Nothing to Snapcast back. Jordan, as you noticed, fetched exclusively basics. Of course, he did naturally draw 2 of them, and he had a Prismatic Vista, so yeah, no choice. There's another Prismatic Vista. 4 basics in play. Price of Progress is going to do nothing here. Meddling Mage, the play for Jordan Isaka. Can he name Exquisite Firecraft? One moment. We're going to get that Meddling Mage for you. That name right now. Jordan in with Umezawa's Jite. The Meddling Mage, as Sam Riljak called shot in the comments. Lightning Bolt. To keep the Snapcaster Mage alive. Ensure that it could connect. David with the draw. Sulfuric Vortex, big time draw. Big time draw. There's 2 counters on the Jite. Jordan double checking. Did I forget this trigger? Oh, and there's the land for David. Just gonna slam a jamma that Sulfuric Vortex. I wish you could hear Jordan right now. I have responses. There goes both counters for the Jite. Jordan up to 10. Can David hold off this onslaught? Swing for 4. David down to 60. He's got plenty of life. Down to 14 on the Sulfuric Vortex. Land off the top. Remember, there's a Firecraft in hand for David D. Malanta. That's 4 uncounterable damage. So Jordan's at a virtual 6. Now a virtual 4. And now a virtual 2 once it's his turn. Disenchant off the top for Jordan Isaka. Unbelievable haymakers from these 2. Unbelievable. Sam Riljak, you're right. Firecraft, totally counterable with that relic being popped. Kind of a non-bow. Disenchant on the top for Jordan Isaka. How lucky can one dude get? How lucky can one dude get? We're at 108, guys. We need 2 more viewers to get to that 110 count that we wanted to get to. 108. Get your friends in here. If you can't have a good time watching this kind of magic, I don't know what kind of magic you can have a good time watching. Let's get 111. We did it, folks. Good job. If you're just tuning in, you're watching live Legacy action from Seattle, Washington. We're watching Jordan Isaka, the mad white-bordered Jeskai man himself, squaring off against David DiMolanta, longtime Legacy player, playing Burn. And here comes a Sulfuric Vortex down on that Disenchant. Jordan Isaka swinging in with an Umezawa's Jite and back up to 8. Empty-handed, David DiMolanta is now going to scoop it up. And folks, Jordan just took game 2. We're going to a game 3. This is round 4 of Legacy action. We do this every single Monday night. I hope you're enjoying what you're watching because we are going to game 3. These two competitors are bringing it. Jeskai Stoneblade completely white bordered. David DiMolanta on Burn. The same list, the top 4 list from GP Atlanta. You're listening to Michael Tessier bringing you all this action. I can't contain myself. I'm so excited. Sam making a comment. Now, Jordan has to win on the draw. Much harder. Can he do it? Can he do it? Game is over now, said folks a long time ago. This has been a sweet match. This is a great match. This is a great match. White border, that's sick. I know. What a madman Jordan Isaka is, white bordering his deck. I'll tell you why he did it too. I'll tell you why. Because he never wanted to sell this deck. He never wanted to be tempted to sell it. So he removed all monetary value from it by whiteboarding it. And in process, made a sort of signature look for himself, right? He knew that he might be tempted to sell the deck if he left it with black borders, but he knew he always wanted to play blue-white, and he always wanted to play these cards. So he whiteboarded them. Back to basics. Not a good card in the Bird matchup, but jokes, all the jokes. Our competitors are shuffling up for round 3. We've got 123 viewers in here. 1, 2, 3. Give me a 1 in chat. 1 in chat for Jordan. 2 in chat for David. Team Burn. Give it to me. If you want to see Jordan come away with this game 3 in our final round of the evening, give me a 1. If you want to see David burn down Jordan's hopes and dreams, give me a 2. Our players looking at their top 7, one at a time. These two guys are having so much fun, and that's what Magic is all about. That's what Legacy is about. It's about you in here, in this chat, right now together. We're watching some great Magic happen, and David DiMolanta, turn 1. There's a mountain. Our competitors are starting. This is it, folks. Game 3 of round 4, our last round of the evening. Mountain follow-up from David and a pass. Our these two guys are laughing, having a great time. I guess I'll go with 2. Grim Lava Mancer from Jordan Isaka. That's a good play. That's a good card. Again, folks, as I was mentioning, just Jordan is trying to get a Jite online to turn the corner. All the other interaction that he has is merely delaying the inevitable. Delaying the inevitable. David eventually will draw enough burn to beat Jordan unless he gets a Jite or a Batterskull online, and the fastest way to do that is through a Stoneforge Mystic. Rough start for Burn. I agree, Andy. We've got a Rift Bolt on Suspend from David DiMolanta. That's going to be able to take care of this Grim Lava Mancer. Not sure what Jordan has in. I believe he's got Spell Pierces in his deck. Jordan is famous for putting Spell Snares in his deck, too. David splashing his sideboarded prices onto the battlefield, just letting Jordan know, dude, you can fetch for duels if you want. Aether Sworn Canonist, the play for Jordan. Big time play. Folks, if you're just tuning in, you're watching Game 3, our final game of the evening in this round 4 of live Legacy action. From Seattle, Washington, Card Kingdom, Mox Boarding House, Ballard, the madman himself, Jordan Isaka on mono white bordered Jeskai Stoneblade. Squaring off against David D. Malanta, longtime Legacy player, playing the top 4 deck from GP Atlanta. It's Burn, featuring 4 exquisite firecrafts. Michael Tessier in the booth for you, bringing you all this action. Here comes a Rift Bolt off suspend, and it's going to target Jordan. It's going right at Jordan's face. David does not care about this Canonist. He does not care about this Grim Lavamancer. He is going to Jordan's face. In goes the Aethersworn Canonist. David D. Malanta should be at 17. 17, I believe. That's right. David D. Malanta and Jordan Isaka can each only cast 1 Narn artifact spell per game. There's a lightning bolt. End of turn. Straight at Jordan's face. He's down to 13. Land off the top for David. Does he have enough burn to finish this game off? He might, but it's gonna have to be at 1 spell per turn. 1 spell per turn. If you're a fan of Magic the Gathering, if you're a fan of Legacy action, this is it, folks. What more could you ask for than a game like this? Two dudes duking it out, having a good time with their white bordered cards, just as Richard Garfield intended. There comes a fetch from Jordan. He's down to 12. 12. That's right. And look at David. He's got those 2 firecrafts in hand, just taunting us. He knows. Grim Lavamancer is going to drop David to 15, exiling those 2 lands. Snapcaster Mage for Jordan. Just going to apply a little bit more of a clock there. That's 5 power on board. David thinking about what he's going to do. Is he going to play a spell on his turn? Remember, he's restricted to just 1 spell per turn. Thank you so much for tuning in. When you tune in, you are part of our Legacy community just by being a viewer. There's a smash to smithereens. Jordan down to 9, and down goes the Aethersworn Canonist. That's 2 points of power on Jordan's clock and a big-time bottleneck on David's ability to cast multiple spells per turn. Perfect card for David. Swing for 2, says Jordan. David down to 13. Sitting nicely, and there's a Dreadhorde Arcanist. There's a Lightning Bolt, end of turn, targeting Jordan. What will Jordan do? Jordan down to 6 now. A Lightning Bolt off the top for David. He's got it all. David has everything. He has the world. Jordan Isaka down to 3. There's an exquisite Firecraft, and there's a Swords to Plowshares targeting Jordan's own Snapcaster Mage to keep himself alive. Jordan's at 1 point of life. He has to turn it around now, or it's GG. David hiding his 2 cards. Could not be more excited about the 2 that they are. Jordan untaps. Gotta pray here. It's gotta be a GT. It's not. It's a Tundra. Flusterstorm and Force of Will in hand. Jordan has no idea that he's completely and utterly dead. Unreal magic. This is why we play. We play to be able to burn out Jordan Isaka. We play because we want to have a great time while we do it, playing with friends. We play because it hypes us, because we're all part of a community. We play because we're part of Legacy. And this is what it's about, folks. When you tune in, David choosing, what is he going to play between those 2 cards? What do you think? He's got a dead and gone there. Now just come the trolls. Now it's just time to troll, Jordan. Grim Lavamancer dead. Jordan exclaims, "What are you doing?" And David says, "Choose." Oh, he's gonna exquisite firecraft. Jordan Isaka is completely and utterly dead. The the laughter happened. Folks at home, David D. Malanta with Burn is going to take this game 3 and the match. Jordan is beside himself as expected. Look at this. Look, look at the madness from this madman. This has been an awesome night of Legacy. We saw Chris Van Meter tonight. We saw Kent Ketter. We saw level 3 judge Sean Catanese, and we got to see the madman Jordan Isaka with his white border deck get taken down by the top 4 deck from GP Atlanta, Burn, with 4 exquisite firecraft. Unreal magic. You tuned in because this is what it's about.
This is the classic. He just did the classic to me. I'll put the headset.
Let's
No, he just you don't even know what he said.
okay, this is
The classic. He's like,
this is the best part.
All named Fire Blast.
This is
They're
the best
both Fire
part.
Blast. Oh.
This is the best part, folks. Because
No, it's not.
guess what? I think you can hear it.
No, it's
Okay,
not.
if
dude.
you're okay, let me warn our viewers
Okay.
first. Okay,
I'm
let me
not-
just just wait. Viewers at home, if you were watching just for Magic content, this is the end of the stream. Thank you for watching. If you're watching because you want to see Jordan get salty, then please carry on. Here we go.
okay.
Bringing it back to the booth. Michael Tessier with guest Jordan Isaka. Welcome, Jordan. That was awesome seeing you get wrecked. I gotta say, there are fewer joys in life
Oh,
than watching you get destroyed on
Dude,
camera.
That was
I love that.
That was so. It was so bad because I played it like I was gonna defend myself,
right.
and you just saw how he slow rolled me.
Yeah,
Did
you
you
had-
see?
You
when
were totally dead. You had no idea.
Did you
in
see
game 3.
when he put 2 cards face down and he picked up the die?
Yeah, I love that.
And that so there's a classic tale that my brother used to tell me. He's like, you have Curse Scroll in play,
Mm.
which says name a card,
Okay.
and if you reveal the card that you named, your opponent takes 2 damage.
Okay.
So the classic thing to do with
Right.
Curse Scroll is you activate it and you name Fire Blast, and you got 2 cards. And then what you do is you show them 2 Fire Blasts, and then you Fire Blast them twice. That's a classic. So
Okay.
he did the class. It did the classic to me, but the worst part about it was I had 2 counterspells in my hand.
I know.
I couldn't
Force the will flow. Can't do anything against exquisite firecraft, and that's why I mean, it's sort of an innovation, but it's also kind of like necessary, right? 4 exquisite firecraft is
Yeah.
awesome in Burn. That is awesome.
And I think
love it.
the best part about it, the absolute best part about it, was the showmanship from David and his willingness to go ahead and say, Jordan,
You're dead.
you're dead.
You're dead.
You're
Gotcha.
you're done dead.
I got
You're done dead. Why don't you pick up your cards and get out of here? And get out of here. That's what he did.
All right, so Jordan, let's see. So, there were some folks in the chat that were like, white bordered cards, as usual.
Well,
Also, there were some folks in the chat who were absolutely Team Jordan. They wanted you to win. I couldn't believe it. I kept saying, press 1 for Jordan, press 2 for Burn.
yeah.
There was a lot of Jordan votes.
I appreciate that. Everybody
Unbelievable.
at home that's watching, dude.
Dude, you know what, though?
What's up?
Look, GP Atlanta just happened, and there's like a
Yeah.
lot of people going. But tonight was an awesome night of Legacy. We had you on. There's
Dude.
there's David, the victor.
There's David.
Let's get
There's
David's
David.
face in there.
David, can I?
Yeah.
You want to put the headset? You want to say something? Like, haha, I just wrecked this guy.
So,
Also, if you need to.
Alexa, this is so sad. Play Despacito. Yeah. We had you on.
Yeah.
Before you, we had Chris Van Meter on.
Oh, the legendary prodigy himself.
So
the
awesome.
set designer, dude. He's awesome. I
Before
love
Chris
CBM.
Van Meter, we had level 3 judge Sean Catanese on.
Oh my gosh.
And before that, we had Kent Ketter, SCG Grinder
Kent.
on.
Classic Ketter.
Classic Ketter in the house.
I didn't realize that was him.
That was him. He was here.
I saw his. I know who he is, but I didn't know that was him, and now I know.
This is a VOD to watch. If you if you like Legacy, go back and watch this one. This is a good one.
I usually don't watch the losses. I'm gonna have to watch the loss.
You have to watch this one.
And guess what,
Yeah,
guys?
this is
If you want to be completely honest, out of all the casts, we the best caster in the house, dude. We had Mike, the Mouth, Tessier,
Thank you, dude. Thank you.
dude.
So happy to do this. This was great night of Legacy. Time to sign off. For you folks at home, you know, if you were brand new to this stream, hit that follow button. Would love to see you back here again. We do this every single Monday night.
we
Yeah,
have fun.
that's right. We stream Legacy it's live too. Every single Monday night. You can catch me sometimes on there. You can catch Jordan sometimes on there. We've got a whole cast of great commentators that are on here week in and week out because we believe in Legacy and we know you do too, and that's why you watch.
Yeah, baby.
You believe in Legacy, you believe in the community. So cool. Thanks for watching. From Jordan Isaka and myself, Michael Tessier, we'll catch you guys another time very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.
Good night, guys.